Let's burst out of the joint by breaking it down. If you're feeling chilly, nice and warm, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Don't stop, you can do it. One more time. Nice and warm. And everybody say, come on, y'all. See your bird. Shake your loose. Let's do it again. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, interwebs? Welcome to the Out of Order Show. My name, as always, is Michael, a.k.a. the local boy, a.k.a. Oh, somebody stop me for spending all this money on freaking Magic, man. Oh my god. Are you freaking kidding me? They just dropped some more news today, which I'm glad, or yesterday, which, okay, so yesterday, I was supposed to stream yesterday, but I didn't because I had work stuff and my throat was killing me. But also, I also was going to wait until they put up the article where more stuff was going to be announced, but we're still going to be watching the live stream of the weekly MTG, where they talk about the previews and promos of stuff, and then we still have to go over the other commander decks that we didn't go over on Monday. But then they drop a freaking the Secret Lair. They announced the Secret Lair today, and boy, oh boy, it's a doozy. It's a freaking doozy. So strap in. I've been wondering when someone would throw me under the bus. What do you mean throw you under the bus? Who threw you under the bus? Is it work? Wait, work thing? Is it for work? Are you okay? Is it for the interview? Interview stuff? No? What do you mean no? Okay. So what's going on? Wait. Oh. You can tell me in Discord. You don't have to like air out your grievances online. Oh, somebody stop me. Okay. Oh my god. I mean, dude, the fact, oh my god, the fact that you, there's, who, is it a leak? Or who dropped the Ristic Studies? Who dropped the Ristic Studies today? Because I can understand some of the kanji, but that is Ristic Studies? It was a promo for the Japanese market? Man, that's unfair. Okay, but we're gonna go over some of the promos right now that they've posted. I mean, we're still almost a month out. I think exactly. No, I think we're 29 days out because it's like what, June 13th is when all this stuff gets released, right? Is that when the main set? Oh wait, when does all this beautiful, yeah, June 13th worldwide, when all this product gets released, brother. Oh my god. Okay, but like also my cough has been just terrible, and I'm really pissed of my healthcare system because I just want I was given something that was working. I was given something that was actually working, and then they took it away from me. And now they want me to take more tests, and I'm like, bro, just give me my fucking antibiotics because it was working. I just want the antibiotics, but for longer than a week. Give me, like, when I had the foot fungus, you guys gave me the antibiotics for the foot fungus, and that was like a month-long dose. Just give me the same fucking dose, but for this fucking cough. Sorry, I'm venting right now because my voice is my power. If you guys don't know, my job, my livelihood all depends on my goddamn ability to speak. And especially with the job I'm working at right now, temporarily in politics, doing campaign work, I have to talk for 4 hours straight. And like, uh-oh. I saw something. Audrey, did you break NDA? Uh-oh. I saw something on my Twitter feed. The amount of DMs I got asked if I know the voice actor. Please, guys, no one. Yeah, it just got deleted. Holy shit. Okay, so it's a voice acting thing, not a. Okay, she reposted it. Sudden interest in Zinla Zone Zero. Okay, so. So yeah, we need to probably play the pretty early in a day. So, well, I'm going to 3. So, I'm going to be going to probably Autos. Let me pull out the official map. I'm going to go to the Game Haven one. Let's see. Commander Party. Let's see. Locator. Doors. Oh, come on. Current location. Okay, so Game Haven has Sunday Funday standard. So they have a standard showdown. They have Commander Party. They have dude, this shit, yeah. They have standard showdown, and they actually have store championship. And they have the Final Fantasy pre-release. 20 people, $38. So I'm gonna pay for that tomorrow. I'm gonna go there and pay for it tomorrow. It's on June 8th. It's a 20-player cap. So I'm gonna go to do that. I'm gonna pay for that. And I might make Chris go with me and pay for that as well. So June 8th. When's June 8th? June 8th. It's a Sunday. So they're doing their pre-release on Sunday. Okay, so... Ooh, I might have to call out. Fuck, I was going to call out on... Fuck, 2 Sundays in a row I'm going to be calling out? Shit. What time? 12 p.m.? Yeah. Well... Yeah, so... I definitely want to support Mega City. For sure, but I'm definitely... They have... Not only do they have championships, they have standard showdowns. And I think I saw on their... what's it called? On their storefront, that they're a premium store now. Which is crazy, because I didn't even think that place was going to last as long as it did. I think that shit is a front for something else. There's like there's got to be another business that they're funneling money through that place, because that place was dead every time I went. So either way, we're gonna watch the weeklies. Thank you everybody for popping on in. God, my throat is so raw right now. I hate it. I hate how fucked up my throat is. Yeah. So, but this music's so good. It's so fitting and so good. Genova Tenacity. Okay. Have you played Rebirth yet? You should. I bought it on PC. You should play it on my account on PC. I literally bought it for Vic, or I bought it for me so that Vic could play, so that he could finally catch up and we could talk about Final Fantasy. But yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a fun game. It's not the best game. It definitely is better than Rebirth by a mile. Or remake, not Rebirth. But towards the end, it does kind of like spin its tail a little bit long, especially with all the mini games that they don't tell you are like side quest mini games, but everything is pivotal. Every side game, every side quest, everything is pivotal to the overall story, which fucking sucks because completionists like me that want to understand the whole depth of the lore of the game, you had to play all that shit, and that sucks. It fucking sucks. I hate it. A second, wait, they're doing a second one at 5? Where? I didn't see it. So that means I don't have to call out. That'd be great. Game Haven? Let me see. Locator, store. Why won't it let me? Okay, Game Haven. Oh, yeah, wait. Oh, well, did they just add that one? I did not see that. Okay, so I guess I'll go to the 5 o'clock one then. So I don't have to call out. I'll go to the one at 5. But yeah, we're definitely, like I said, I'm going to as many of these goddamn pre-releases as I can. Paladin, let's see. Paladin has Magic Final Fantasy pre at Paladin. That's on the 7th. $50. Oh, $50. Man, that's at Paladin. Maybe not. Okay, autos. Let's see. Pre-release 35. And they have a 20 cap, man. Okay. I gotta pay for these. And then whatever wait, is this Game Haven place? I don't even know this Hellspawn place. Oh, they are. No, it's Hellspawn Final Fantasy at home pre-release. $60? Oh my god, these prices are crazy. Okay. Okay, let's go to the I love this song though. I just wanted to like listen to the song as long as humanly possible. Good song, good song. Okay. Let's switch over to content. React. We're a React channel. We're officially React channel, boys and girls. We've we've done more React streams than game content. God, am I turning into Asmongold? Oh God, no. All right. Let us commence with the reaction. By the way, I have not seen this. I was very busy when this was happening, so I've not seen anything, but I have seen some of the previews on the Twitters and the interwebs, because it's kind of hard. To
three preview shows focused on
oh wow,
Gathering Final Fantasy.
3 previews,
and to help us reveal,
man, we're eating
a bunch
good
of stuff
next
today.
week.
We're
gonna do more reactions.
We have two guests fresh off the plane from PAX East,
Fresh off
Gavin
the plane.
Verhey and Daniel Holt, and we are going to cover a bunch of stuff today. We've got main set previews, we've got commander decks to talk about, we've got promos, we got starter kits. We're just gonna talk about some Final Fantasy stuff. So that's what we're gonna do the whole time. You guys excited?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
How was PAX East for you two?
It was so good.
By the way, we
being
have
there, finally
to-
the debut panel.
Right.
Was just
We have to
incredible.
go
You know,
to
we've worked on this stuff
MagicCon.
for so long. You know,
We have
4
to.
years, 5 years, depending on who you are, and like
If-
just being
even
able
if
to
it's just
finally
me
get
and
up on
you,
stage,
we
show
gotta go
off
to
cards,
MagicCon.
be unfettered and just talk about stuff.
I don't know if
was
you're gonna get
amazing.
time
Plus, like,
off.
the room was totally full. The line
or
capped. It
when you
was,
start- when
like,
your
the love
starting
for Final
date
Fantasy
is.
was so huge.
Yeah, the energy was great.
But
People
we
were
gotta
doing
we
some
gotta go.
cosplays.
We
That was
definitely
great.
gotta
There was,
go.
like an Angelo dog even in the front
Yeah.
row. It was so cute. Yeah, it was just great energy.
Yeah, and, well, if you like the energy of Final Fantasy at a convention, perhaps we have a convention for you. Look
nice.
at that.
Segue.
Boom.
Wow,
Boom. There
Gavin's
it is.
doing my job for me, but he's right. We are going to talk a little bit about MagicCon before we jump into the Final Fantasy. So the MagicCon Las Vegas panel schedule has just been announced, like right now. You aren't aware of it. It probably just dropped. So head to the website to see what's in store for attendees on the Mana Stage, Showcase Room, and Community Panel Room. There's going to be a ton of cool stuff there, and it's up right now. Find out more about MagicCon Las Vegas there. And then MagicCon Atlanta news as well. The early bird badges are going on sale this Thursday. There we go. May 15th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Early bird pricing is going to be available until May 23rd or while supplies last. To learn more about MagicCon Atlanta, you can head to magic.gg to check out that particular announcement. All right.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be at Atlanta. I'm not going to be in Vegas, unfortunately. But we are here today, and we've got all kinds of cool stuff to show off. I think we're going to start with a little bit of the theme of today's show. And we're going to reveal our one. Well, we kind of have two main set previews, but our main set preview. Gavin, do you want to give a little? Yeah, set the stage here.
Okay, so we talked about this working on the set for a long time, right? The first talk started in 2020, and we've been designing it for a while. But there's a funny thing about working on a set for so many years, which is sometimes in World of Final Fantasy, a new game will come out in the middle of making your set. So we knew that 16 was on the horizon, and during the development cycle, we saved a few spots in the set for Final Fantasy 16.
Nice.
And then when the game came out, the whole team, Daniel, Zakil, Dylan, I, whatever, we had a chat where we were playing through 16 and talking about what was happening and trying to figure out what we could get into the set, right? Ooh, this would be cool, this would be cool, this would be cool, and playing through it. And we got a lot of people in the set. You saw Clive, for example, at the preview panel, which is the hero, the protagonist. But we also had to get the villain into the set, right? And so the villain is this character, Ultima, who like kind of drains the lands. He turns them into what's called like blights. So he just like totally drains the mana out of the lands. And we're talking, and it's like, well, that sounds like something we could do in Magic very easily. So let's go ahead and put Ultima up here on the screen. You'll see what's kind of going on. This is a very unique rare. It's cool for all.
I would have to
colorless
leave
fans.
after work
So
Friday,
Ultima is a
though. I'm
5
not
mana,
sure if
4/4
I'm going to be
flyer.
able to work.
Whenever it attacks, it puts a blight counter on a land, which turns it essentially into a waste.
Okay.
So it loses all its land types and only taps for colorless mana. Maybe you want to put it,
Creature
mana,
God.
mess with your opponent's mana. You could do that. But maybe you want to put it on your own lands because whenever you tap a land for colorless, you add an additional colorless. So a really awesome colorless commander because it just basically doubles all your mana, which is wild. Or you can play it fairly in a deck, and you have some colorless lands already. You put it on your lands. The other thing that I want to call out that's really cool and actually worked out so perfectly is so we knew 16's on the horizon, and we have this plan. We have we're going to do a different basic land for every game, right? So each game's going to get a basic land. So when you look at 15, well, that divides evenly by 3, so it's like great. But then we're like, oh, what are we going to do for 16? Oh no, right? And then we play the game, and there's this character that drains mana from lands, and we're like, waste? That's perfect, it's waste. And Ultima has to do with the waste. So we did put waste into the set, so waste will be in the format. Not that you really probably want to, but unless you're playing an Ultima deck for some reason, but in standard, you could play it in standard, and it is there in the packs. I just love that we are giving you a cool, awesome waste for all you out there who play this in your commander decks or what have you. Now you have an awesome full art Final Fantasy waste you can get your hand on. It's a cool little nod. It won't show up that often, one in every 16-ish packs or whatever, but you got it if you want to play your ultimate waste deck, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and waste standard legal again.
Yeah, there it is, finally. Now, before we go any further, I'm curious. Blake said there was a theme around our preview cards. I'm not going to tell you what the theme is, but I'm curious, based on the cards you just saw, if you can figure it out. I doubt you'll be able to, but you can drop in the chat if you think you cracked it. We'll get to the next one in a few minutes.
Now we do have the Booster Fun versions of Ultima as well, if we can put those up. So there's the regular version on the left there, the borderless woodblock in the middle, and the extended on the right.
I would go extended.
You can get, borderless woodblocks, those come in play boosters or collector boosters, so you can pick that up kind of whatever boost you're getting. And then extended, of course, as usual, come in collector boosters only. But you'll be able to find that middle woodblock one, which is gorgeous.
Yeah. The woodblock cards are
The woodblock cards are amazing, yeah.
It's funny, so when I was working on the set, every day I
That's what they're called
Woodblock Wizards, and I look through all the cards in the main set, right? I'm like tweaking them and adjusting them and whatever. But I never think to click over into the Booster Fun cards. And one day I ran a search on accident, pulled up all the Booster Fun cards, and I just incinerated an hour and a half of my life,
Just
going
staring,
through, looking at how pretty they all are. They really turned out amazing. So hats off to the whole Booster Fun team.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now we are going to move into a section on promos. So we're going to talk about a bunch of play and event and other kind of promos that'll be available over the coming months in various forms or fashion. Some of these are cards that you've already seen that are in the main deck. Some of them were in the debut. A couple of them are new. Some of them are reprints. It's a whole thing. It's a mishmash. And the article talking about promos will go up tomorrow. There's a couple
which is
other
why I waited.
previews that are being waited on. But we'll talk through them today. And
I
then you
waited
can see all of the
because
details on Daily MTG.
That's what was
tomorrow for
happening.
all of our promos.
And then they dropped
So let's
the
kick
secret
things
lair
off
bomb.
with the Buy a Box promo.
Yeah, so this is a card I'm very excited about. This is a cool little twist on a board sweeper, something we've never quite done before. And if you guessed this as the theme...
Nope, no, that's not the card we're going on yet.
Oh, that's not the card?
Nope, almost.
Oh.
Buy a Box promo is a commander
I got
card.
things out of
Yeah,
order.
we'll get there.
Well, we'll get there. Love
Not a
love
board
teasing you.
sweeper, yeah.
Perfect. Not a board sweeper, but I'm teasing you a little bit. Harold's Horn. Look at this cute little guy. He doesn't
Harold's
but he's not going to.
Horn.
He's instead going
He's
to
not
discount
gonna
your
sweep a board,
spells. And
It's cute.
Look for,
I'm gonna
look for stuff with creature
I think
types.
we get
It
two
is,
of them, right?
a
Because
nice
if you buy the
classic from
collector
2027
booster box and
Yep,
a play
the cute
booster
Moogle
box,
on
you
it.
get
You
both.
can call
of them.
Moogle as the creature type too.
If you just buy a box, you get it, right?
That's the thing.
Yep, you'll note that this does have the commander logo and the FIC code. So this is not in standard. This is a commander eternal legal card.
Yep, absolutely. But
right.
it's just a great, cute little Harold's Horn.
We
for you.
should.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you buy
cool.
a box of
By the way, at
Final
some
Fantasy,
point-
you'll get a Herald's Horn with it.
I'm gonna do the stream
All right, next
at your
up,
house.
we
But
have
we got to clean up and like decorate
Commander
your
Party.
your
So,
your desk, or not
Commander
your desk,
Party
your
are cool
the front
events
area
that we
in Final Fantasy
run
stuff. We
at
got to
local
like
game
get all our
stores.
Final Fantasy swag.
These
and
promos
show
are
'em
going to be.
off.
There's two promos. These are going to be given out June 20th through 26th, or July 18th through 24th.
The
Check
culling
with your local
ritual.
game store. First up, we see Culling Ritual here.
Yeah, and I love that even on these promos, we still, if you notice, in the bottom left-hand corner have the game it's from. So if you go, where did this promo come from? Don't worry, we got you covered. And yeah, this is just a nice little black-green sweeper. Here's the sweeper.
This is a sweeper, not the one you were talking about.
Yeah. We found a sweeper. And yeah, it's,
Commander Party
turned into quite
promo.
the commander card too.
So that store
following up
has
with your
commander
Commander Party.
parties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Note on this and our next card.
You also fight these
if
four
you
in
play at a WPN premium
Final Fantasy
store,
14 as well. At
these
the
Commander
end
Party
of
promos will
Shadowbringer.
come in traditional foil.
not
If
Shadowbringer,
you
and
play
Walker.
at another store that's not a premium store but is still a WPN store, they'll be non-foil. It's one of the perks of being a premium WPN store.
Yeah, which
all right,
I'll find out
let's
tomorrow
see
if
our
Game Haven is a
second Commander
WPN
Party card.
premium
Also
store.
not in the main
I
set.
thought I
but a
saw
very
it on
cool
the front
reprint.
door when
Tell us
I
about
drove
this
by.
one.
Yeah, and speaking of efficient removal,
Bark.
here's a nice one.
Which
and,
they have. They apparently they
goes
have
into tons
a
of commander decks. So for Commander Party,
Commander
it
Knight
makes sense as
or
a
a Commander
great promo to pick up. To spark 'em.
Yeah.
Shout out to 14 fans out there.
Commander
Yeah,
Party.
yeah, little 14 nod. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I just turned it
And I cry.
All right. Oh, chat's all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're feeling all the feelings here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do love how many cards in our set are like, well, here's just a nice little reprint. Like the commander decks are a good example.
Yep.
Here's a nice little reprint.
Do they
Also,
have the
please-
learn to play?
please try
I don't
now.
see
You know,
learn to
that's kind of what
play.
happens with some of these cards. So.
Yep.
All I
Even the
see is
waste area,
champion
yeah.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
your store
Yeah.
champion,
Even the
which
waste.
is what I was like, oh, I have to go
All
to a
right.
store.
Next up,
or-
we have a cool event promo
they have Pride.
that is a reprint, but yeah.
Joshua.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm going to
here's a
go
card
with.
that many of you competitive commander players might particularly be excited about, or maybe just want to have a 0 mana cost card in your command zone. It's Joshua Rosefeld as Rograk, son of Rograk. So the zero
So
mana,
my
0/1
the Final
first
Fantasy
strike mana
15
trample
deck I'm
partner,
going to build,
quite
or
powerful in the
16 deck I'm
command
going to build
zone,
is going to
and
be
just, yeah, I mean, the
Joshua
full
and
art on
Torgal.
this is just so gorgeous.
Because they're both partners,
That
so
art
it'll
really
be
pops
red.
with
It'll be
minimal
red,
text.
white,
And,
then
it's a
put
nice little nod
Ross
to 16. So we
Kleifeld
got
in it.
16 spread out not only in the main set, but snuck in a few other places too. I think we previously showed off a
Event promo.
Yoshimaru promo as Torgal as well.
Yep.
So you can pair these up if you want to.
Yeah. As for what events you'll be able to get this card at, so this will be available at Command Fests.
Yeah, and that's
you'll
the
learn
part
more
that
about
sucks.
it in that article that comes out tomorrow,
which
on
we'll
May
read
14th.
afterwards. Which
But
I
yeah,
kinda
a lot of
glanced
people
at it,
are
and I don't think I'm
planning
gonna be
on how
anywhere
they can
near
pick this up.
Oh,
a
for sure.
command.
Yeah.
So
Now,
this is
going
going to
on
be
to our
strictly
next
an
card. So Final
online.
Fantasy 7. there's two main characters. I think I have them right now. Yes.
Yes.
There's two main characters. Good.
Gavin's back on track. All right, here we go.
There's two main
And they're going
characters.
to sweep the board.
No, these are not going to sweep the board. These will sweep your opponent's face. Let's take a look at them up here on screen. Two of the Final Fantasy VII's main characters here as Pro Tour qualifier promos. We've got
Yeah, this
Tifa,
fucking sucks.
Boom, ready to
Look at
smash
that.
your opponent's face in. As a
I
young
like- I wish they
would
would've went with the purple
any
dress.
card that kills your opponent on turn
Not
3
the
with
exo-
a
not the
fetch land
exotic
and Titanic
dress.
growth should be a card that you consider. And
Because this is
card,
the exotic
certainly-
dress that
certainly
you.
does it.
And this one is going to be available
You played-
for
you played Remake, right?
competitors in
Where you have to choose the three
Pro Tour
suits
qualifiers
or the
that
three
are
outfits
at
for her?
MagicCon Las Vegas. So at MagicCon Las Vegas is going to have a
Yeah,
number
so
of Pro Tour qualifiers.
I really wish they
If
went with
you
the
play
OG.
in one of those events, you can get this card
What's it
in
called?
a non-foil
Dress, the purple dress.
And if you are a top finisher at one of those PTQs, you can get this in a traditional foil.
And a traditional.
Then
form.
you couldn't have Tifa without having another character from Final Fantasy VII. That, of
Obviously.
course, is Aerith.
I think they're going to love this next card.
God
Yep.
damn it.
With the chair.
That's so fucking cool. I hate the fucking.
So Aerith is
I-
if you
I'm not gonna
participate
build an
in
Aerith
a
deck,
Pro Tour qualifier
and
in the October 11th
I don't
through
necessarily
November 23rd
want-
season.
I have no big desire
again,
for this
non-foil
era, but
for
the fact
competitors,
it's
top
the
finishers
chair
can get a
from the
traditional
top
foil.
row.
Very cool.
Aerith
Love that we got
is
these two
like
iconic
Oh yeah,
characters.
chat.
all
chat's
the
about
memes
this.
with
Yeah.
like the
These
freaking
promos
like
are awesome.
killing
Final
Sephiroth
Fantasy
with the
VII
chair.
lovers are gonna
Yep.
love the nods. I mean, these are a little specific scenarios from the games here, but
I'm
it's
just
a great
so
moment for Aerith.
just
Very fan
jealous
favorite
that
moments.
very
Sure.
favorite moment for sure.
that they pulled this
Awesome
off.
promo.
And a fantastic card.
Yeah, for sure.
So
All right.
jealous that they like
Now-
Now is the time, Blake.
now-
Now is the time.
Now, Gavin. All right, so
All right,
from the
let's
top
set
rope,
the
not the top
stage.
row.
Set the
Oh yeah, from the
stage,
top row.
Gavin.
So remember, let's go back to the long time of 7 minutes ago.
7 minutes
When I was
ago.
guessing it, trying to see if you could guess the theme. So it's a really unique board sweeper with something that we've never quite done before that has a lot of very interesting use cases. Now, of course, this card does appear in the main set. It is a new card, but it's not one that you have seen before. And this is one that definitely might get your brain moving. So let's put, if you guessed the theme correctly, Ultima up here on the screen. Now, Ultima is also
Fucking
a spell
Ultima.
in the set because that's just how it's named. So this is
Dude.
a board sweeper, blows up all artifacts and
Standard-
creatures,
and we
then
have a standard
also
showdown
ends the turn. So if you
Because
might
I
be wondering, why do
I
wanna do
looked
this?
at
Why do I wanna do
other
this? Well,
stores
two
and they don't
interesting
have standard
things. First of all, make
showdowns.
sure that all of
Except
the,
for that
dice
Game
triggers
Haven.
don't go
Game
off.
Haven
You
has
can
standard
clean
showdown.
the sweep without any dice triggers happening on anything.
Like
So that's
there's
pretty nice.
like
But there's also a
Chocobo
number of tricks you can do
Racing
with this card.
Auto
For example,
Chocobo
this doesn't
Racing.
have the if you cast it on
Oh,
your turn
sealed
restriction.
deck.
So if you can give this flash
Friday Night
somehow,
Magic, Friday Night
you can actually
Magic.
sweep your opponent's turn
Pioneer.
and Time Walker.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah,
some
they don't.
pretty
I don't see.
wild
Let me see,
stuff you can
maybe
do with
does
this.
You would
It's
never
nice
do
way to
Paladin
make
have
sure your
standard
opponent doesn't
showdown?
get their dice triggers, or you just get
Nope,
to,
they just
clear off
run
the turn
Commander.
before your
So,
opponent has a chance to do something.
The fact
in your end step,
that
potentially or whatever.
Game Haven
Maybe you don't want them to be able
It's
to
the
flash
only-
in a
it's a
creature.
Sunday
you
fun
cast
day
this, no creatures getting
Commander
flashed,
showdown.
Turn's going to end right. It's going to blow everything
Or,
up.
standard
turn's gonna end.
showdown.
But especially if you can give this thing flash, there's some
So,
fun little.
the fact that we have
stuff
a
you can do
standard
there.
showdown, we
this is
can
here,
get
this
this
is,
Ultima.
the
We can
promo
get the
version.
Ultima.
You will find a main set version
Ultima.
with some flavor text that I think you'll enjoy. I won't tell you what it is, but the flavor text I think you'll enjoy in the main set. And this is for standard showdown, right, Blake?
Yes, so Ultima is going to be standard showdown events taking place June 13th through 24th.
Yeah.
Check with your local game store for more details on that.
Yeah,
The
tomorrow I'm going.
actual- so there's
That's the
two
first thing I'm gonna do
cards.
is I'm gonna go to Game
There's
Haven,
this and
buy
the
my
next one we're gonna show,
buy
and
my
then
pre-order.
The winner will get one of the two. But yeah, Ultima you can pick up in the main set. Yeah, my mind goes to a lot of places with that card. I mean, even something as simple as the creatures that come back as enchantments just don't.
Yep. Right, get them out of here. Enduring what?
Enduring, not
Enduring
at all.
what?
yeah,
I like
that's gonna
Enduring,
be
though.
A really interesting card in standard.
I have
Also, the
I,
fact that it
I
catches all
have two
artifacts too is a
Endurings.
little nod above some board sweepers, right? You can get rid of in Commander. You
That's
sweep
probably the
everyone's,
only good thing
mana
that happened
rocks
in,
or artifacts
what's
they
it
have lying
called?
around. In constructed formats,
And
60 cards. There's
Dustborn.
always some equipment maybe lying around or whatever. You can just
Actually,
clean
I
all
do
those
like
up, get
what's
them
it
off the
called too.
battlefield.
I like
So,
the dual
quite a nice sweeper.
enchantments, the doors.
Okay,
thought
next
that was
up
like
is our
kind of a-
second standard
It
showdown
makes me feel like
promo.
layaway.
Squall.
I like
Yeah, so
layaway.
we saw this card at the debut. We showed it off, but not quite like this.
layaway
You get Squall
enchantments.
and Renoa in the artwork.
Because I'm a broke
together.
bitch, so like layaway enchantments.
Maybe not as much of a loner.
Yeah, give me
as,
a layaway
mechanics
enchantments.
might suggest, or whatever, you know. So yeah, but this card's great. It hits, it lets all your stuff
For
hit the double
YouTube,
strike
if you
that
don't know what
attack
layaway
alone.
is,
and then when
it's
he
a
hits, perhaps with double strike.
It was the thing that back in the day Walmart used to do, where it's like you would put money down
just a
on
nice promo
some.
version
They
for
would
Standard
put it in the
Showdown.
back room and have your name
Again,
on it.
Standard Showdown, you'll get one of the two.
And it was such
if
of
you
its time, right? And so like
Uh,
I would ask to
coming
lay
a
away a
local
video
store near
game,
You, our store
and I would pay
championships
$10
taking place
every week.
June 28th,
and then
through
finally
July
after like a
20th.
month and a
Again,
half,
check
or
with
if
your
I got
local
like
game
extra money,
store
I would go and
for
lay
more
away more of
details
it.
on that. But we've got 3 different promo cards for
But
that.
then one time
The
there was a
first
game
for
that was so
participants, then a top 8,
thought
and
after
then
that they
a
were like, no, you
winner.
can't lay
So
away.
Let's take a look at Kind of Preordained, Prophetic Beginning.
Oh, that's a
Lord
cool pre-order name right
Champions.
there.
So cool.
Participation.
I mean, it's
We have
staple
champions in that place too.
Where it's legal, shows up in cube. Nice one mana cantrip.
It's so
that
fucked
once
up
in
that
the
I'm just
full
gonna just
archery,
show
man.
up for this and never go
The
back
thing
there
I
ever
really
again.
like too is this is FF1
It's like-
card, right?
Oh,
So where
wow.
does- where do
And
things
the other
start?
thing that sucks
Final
about that
Fantasy
place,
I,
though,
4
is that you have to
heroes,
pay-
overlooking
I guess
what's going on. A
you
great
could
fit
rent
for
a room
pre-ordained.
and
a card
pay.
called Prophetic Beginning too.
So I hope that it's not. If you sign
Yep,
up for
so
their
that
showdown
is
or
the
pre-release,
participation. If
you
you
don't actually have to pay
participate
for
in
the
the store
hours being in the room
championship,
as well. I
you
hope
will
it's a.
pick up
it's part of
this
the cost.
version of Preordained. If you make the top 8, you will get
Top 8.
our
top
next
8.
promo. Oh. Actually, the one on the right. So the Death's Shadow. Diablos. And then
Guardian
for
Force.
winning, you get a traditional foil. Both of these are traditional foil. So
Oh my
top 8
God.
is the Death's Shadow. The City of Brass is for the winner. And what
The
are these in
floating
Final
city.
Fantasy?
Yeah,
But it's
you got
Final Fantasy 12, who
Diablos
cares?
And Bergerba, Floating City. Just I think it's cool that we're giving out some iconic cards here with Final Fantasy flavor. So if you want to, put a little bit of Final Fantasy in your deck, so you have the option to. And frankly, I'm happy to just have more copies of City of Brass floating around.
Yeah.
So that's a nice one to be able to pick up. Deal some damage to you to bring your life total down for the Death Shadow.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. They go together.
It's a long route to get there, but
The fact that it's not a town,
Death Shadow has some roots.
but
in
they
the set.
said
I'm a big
that
Death Shadow fan,
town
so
is a new
Cecil, a card we
mechanic
saw previously.
specifically
Yeah,
for Final
by
Fantasy.
taking a new Death Shadow. Well, here's the original Death Shadow.
Absolutely. All right. So those are the promos we are revealing today. Again, there will be an article going up tomorrow, May 14th, that will walk through all of the promos, including some
All
that
of
we
the
weren't
promos.
able to show today. Those are going to go up on dailymtg.com, so check that out.
.com.
Next up,
Dot
we are going to
com.
spend some time
It's
talking
not
about the
dot
starter
net.
kits.
Yeah,
Now,
so-
go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't start with the starter kit.
Let's talk about starter kits.
So Final Fantasy, University.
I'll have
a
a
lot of folks. we saw this
I'll
in
be
the
able to
PAX
play a
last
standard
weekend.
deck.
A lot of folks who love
A Final Fantasy
want to
standard.
come check
I
that
don't
thing
have to
out.
just rely on my
So
Ivor
starter
standard
kits
deck.
are the perfect place to do that. So of course we knew we wanted a starter kit for people to come in, grab, and be able to start playing.
Yes.
So this is the exact right thing, right? If you have a friend who loves Final Fantasy and they're hearing about this Magic thing and want to come check out the collaboration, grab them one of these. It's a fantastic product, and shout out to Ellie Wright who did a great
Fantastic.
job on the
Absolutely.
designs here.
Yep. So we're going to show off the new cards that are specific to the starter kits. Now, these are legal in all formats as well, right?
Yes.
As if they were in the main set, correct?
Yep, these are legal everywhere. There's a handful of new cards. So Sephiroth and Cloud right here. There's, as you've seen so far, there are several Sephiroths and Clouds. There's ones in the Commander decks, ones
Yep.
in the booster packs, main set. But also, we thought for the starter kit, Cloud versus Sephiroth. I mean, that's a pretty good
Obviously.
enticing way to come
Never
in,
heard of
come
them.
in and play. And these are
Planet's
these
Air.
cards might be starter deck face cards, but they are not fooling around either. That Sephiroth is like a little masker worm that gets big, and Cloud is an awesome equipment card. So I know even when we showed these cards months ago, people were excited about them.
Yep.
But these aren't the only new cards in the decks.
They aren't. Let's start with Cloud's deck, the
Okay.
red-white deck. And let's take a look at Beatrix Loyal General.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
big Final Fantasy IX fan right here, and Beatrix is so cool. She's got an eye patch. She
Any number of equipment you
fights,
control.
She's awesome,
She has a sword
You may
too.
attach any number of equipment you
and a
control
sword.
to
But
target
actually,
creature
I
you
remember
control.
seeing her. in
Dude,
Final
I
Fantasy
want
Like,
to
she's a
put
really
that
cool
so
character.
bad in my Captain America deck.
And
You have
she's
no
like
idea.
so awesome. We were trying. We couldn't get her in the main set. It was like, she was going to fall out of the main set a little bit. But then we talked and we decided, what about if we were able to put her in the starter deck, which wants to do stuff with equipment anyway, which made a
Yeah.
lot of sense for her character. So we put it in here, and it just auto snaps on all your equipment, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool. And even though this is a
Voltron.
great starter deck card, what I love about it is
Voltron.
it's very easy to figure out. Oh, you're playing equipment that snaps everything on. That's cool. But some of these cards do have uses. Like I can imagine putting this card in Commander, right? It's not just
Yeah.
for starter decks. You can take this out or Cloud, Sephiroth out and put them in your Commander deck or even your casual constructed like 60 card deck as you're starting. So these are kind of cool little cards we have to make here.
Next up, let's meet Rosa Resolute White Mage.
Yeah, so y'all speak for
Rosa.
Dylan here, who was the creative lead on this set. He loves Final Fantasy IV, absolutely loves it, and he really wanted Rosa, and we're like, well, this is a great place to put her in. Just a little bit of a buffing every turn, so puts a counter on something every turn and giving it lifelink.
But where's
And then also
Bridia?
the fabled White Reach. You don't see that every day, but
No.
one of her things is she is an archer. Among other things, you don't see it on the
Beginning,
pipeline
put a
there
plus
because
one on
kind of our
target creature you
rules,
control,
get
it
3
gains
types
lifelink
plus
until the
legendary
end of
creature. You only get up to
man.
5, and we wanted to keep human, cleric, and noble. She's like a cleric archer, pretty cool character. But the reach is kind of the like, hey, this character has a bow, so pay attention here. Yeah, got to get her in the set here.
All right, and then another card with a fairly iconic sounding name. We've got Judgment Bolt.
Boom. Yeah. So this got some Final Fantasy 16 kicking out in here.
I'm
is
here to
Sid.
even
Now,
the
you might have
odds.
seen all
Any
15
objections?
Sids,
Oh my
the other
God,
day.
that's such an
But,
iconic
Sid
line.
in this game loves casting Judgment Bolt. So something you get to do, and just bam, deals 5 damage plus a little bit extra for your equipment. So a little nod to 16 here.
Man.
Next up, we've got Lightning Security Sergeant.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we saw the main set Lightning. This is the starter deck version of this card. 3 mana,
They're
2/3,
not
that just
all
bottles your
Final
top card when you
Fantasy,
hit them.
or
So
they're not
it'll
all Final
force a card
Fantasy VII
advantage.
theme.
You
It's
said
kind of like
bottles?
all Final Fantasy
Yeah,
cards.
so it's,
Hype
internally,
cards.
we call this effect bottling after, of course, as I'm sure you all know, the card Elkin Bottle.
As you all know,
as
Elkin
you all
Bottle.
know, the card
That
Elkin
card from
Bottle.
1994, you're all aware.
Yes, yes,
You're all
but-
aware.
So you flip over your top card and cast it this turn. I tried to get Chandra to stick, but it never did. So impulsive draw, maybe.
Whenever
that's
Lightning
something
deals
to call
common
it.
damage,
Yeah.
you'll
One thing I
exile
wanna
the
talk
top
between
card
these
of
two
your
cards
library.
that
You
you'll
may
see
play
throughout
that
the
card
set,
as long
which I
as you
think is
control.
nice, is you'll notice that
You still have to
in the extended
pay
art
for it,
version,
though.
drops the reminder
You
text
could
at the
play
time
it,
on our extended
but you
art
have to still
cards,
pay for
and
it.
some cards actually picked up room for flavor text. So you see this not only here in the starter deck, but also there are a number of main set cards that do this as well. So
Yeah.
keep your eye out for some kind of cool bonus flavor text hiding out on these.
Yeah, and the note here on the extended as well is those are found in collector boosters. So it's not like the extended is found in the starter deck. The starter deck has the version on the left, the regular, and then the extended can be found in collector boosters.
Fucking A, collector boosters.
All right, and then our
we're gonna have to
final
hunt for so
card
many
from the
collector
red white
boosters.
deck, we have our theme for the day,
Ultimate weapon.
I know you love Ultima, so here we go. This card is very reminiscent of Argentum Armor, if you all remember that card. We just wanted a big thing that could close out the game, and
Yep.
huge equipment, looks awesome. Often for a starter deck, it's like, let's make some cards that you're just, if you're a Timmy or Tammy player, your inner giant spellcaster will get excited.
Yep.
And this looks so awesome. Plus, you have like Beatrix in play, you free snap it onto your creature,
Jeez.
you're good to go.
Yeah.
A lot of
Equip
sevens.
7, +7/+7, cost 7.
Hey, what game is it from?
I can't read the bottom from here. I'm guessing 13?
Yeah,
Yeah,
13.
13.
So you figured it out.
Damn.
You figured it out.
Yep.
And the Buster
Yeah,
Sword
chat's-
is in the
chat's
game.
noting a lot of the flavor
and
text is
it
7 words.
Probably might not be a
Seven.
As
class,
intended.
or what's
As
it called? Choose a
intended.
class.
All right, let's
It might
take
be
a
its
look
own
at
unique
the
weapon.
blue-black deck new cards, and we've got our first card, Ultimecia Temporal Threat.
Yeah, so I'm a big 8 fan, and we got another Ultimisian. We've got the uncommon one in the main set that you saw that takes another turn. Here is the starter deck version. Taps all your opponent's creatures, so you're free to attack. And then, you're free to attack? Well, how about we come in and draw some cards too? Notably,
Yeah.
this is for each creature that hits them. It's not the one or more treatment. So you can draw a bunch of cards off this thing. In a starter deck context, one thing we always try and design in is ways for the game to end. If people are just like, I don't know how to attack each other, attacking, blocking is tough. Well, you cast this, pretty easy way to make the game end. But even outside of that context, this card might have some nice legs as a coastal piracy slapped onto a creature. So.
Yeah.
Nice legs.
All right, next
Get the
up
pun?
we have Deadly Embrace.
Here's another 16 concept for you. So we wanted to
Nice.
try and, like I said, get some of these in, especially as the newest game. We thought it'd be fresh in people's minds. So put some 16 cards
Garuda!
in both decks. So this kills something off, then picks you up at least one card, maybe more if you do it right. So
Yeah. All right,
Garuda!
and then Seymour Flux.
yeah, so Seymour is
Man.
a character from Final Fantasy X. We saw his commander card yesterday, but here is the
His-
starter deck Seymour.
When he turns into a monster.
Every turn, picks up a card and gets a little bit bigger. So teaching you even early that, hey, it's sometimes losing life, draw cards, an
Not so
okay
bad.
deal.
Man, put
we
a
did,
plus
we
one,
did
plus
make this
one.
a May ability. We often don't do that on black cards, but we decided for the starter deck experience, just like some people really don't want to deal damage to themselves, so we're not
Yeah,
forcing
you
to
may.
do it. But
That's crazy.
I recommend paying the left to draw cards.
You do
The
it
fact
anyway.
is, it
Yeah.
says you
I-
may.
you will learn you should be paying a left
It's
to
pretty
draw cards.
crazy to me.
All right. Next up, we have Zandy Dark Mage.
Yeah, now this is a throwback to the Pixel era of games right here. But we wanted to get Zandy in. So this is a 4-mana 3/3
He's also
menace
in
that gets bigger
14.
for all your non-creature, non-lands in your graveyard. So
Okay,
quite
it doesn't
big,
have to be just a
and,
throwback.
Nice, once again, way to close out the game in this deck. Right, the game goes long. You play this, it's going to be huge, and it kind of just shows you, how you can build your deck in cool ways. Ooh, we got some small spells rolling around. Great, this is going to make a big creature fast. So a little Final Fantasy Pixel era villain for you.
All right. And then
All right.
our final card from the starter kit, we have, I was already pronouncing the name of the card, Magitech Scythe.
Ooh,
Yes, this card
yes.
is a test of your reflexes for all
God.
you Final Fantasy 14 fans.
You have
We
to press
knew
the
we had to
button
get
to-
that on this card somewhere.
You have to press the
Absolutely, we had to
button.
get it on, and we got it on. So this is an equipment in the villain deck that snaps on and really forces you to test those reflexes. See if you can deal with the creature before it comes in and has the force block happen to eat your creature. After that, on subsequent turns, it's just a nice +2/+1 equipment. So kind of come in, you probably kill off your opponent's creature, and then a permanent pump effect. And yeah, featuring Xenos right there. So
Which-
nice little
For
little nod
that
to all you 14
weapon,
fans.
I feel it'd be a little bit
You
more
get one guess
more
what chat's
like
saying right now.
a test of your reflexes.
it
Yeah.
more
One
poppy,
thing I'll say from a
but
design
it just
perspective,
does
we
it
learned
goes
really
in,
early
does one
on,
thing.
It was fun to have quotable
You gain
things.
first strike until
Because
end of turn
people
and
it's just
must
so
block
fun,
this
right? You
turn
play the
if
card, you say the
able.
quote or whatever. There's a few I can't tell you about quite yet, but like there's a couple things I put in the set specifically because I knew that would be fun to say. And a test of your reflexes is like that is perfect. Like that is what you expect. So yeah,
bad-
there's some great flavor text and
What?
quotes
Oh,
all throughout the
what
set. And
equipment? What is
a
the
huge
thing that
hats off
gives
to the
flash
creative
to
team, Dylan,
equipments?
and the whole
I
team did an
forget which
amazing
gives
job on
flash
this.
to equipment because that would be really
All right,
good.
now we are going to move on to Commander. So Daniel's not just a pretty face. He's here to share some information. So we did, if you're paying close attention and you looked at the Where to Find article, it listed originally that Commander decks were supposed to be revealed on our YouTube channel yesterday. We ran into a few technical issues. Those videos are coming. They're great. But we wanted to stick to our schedule, and so we posted the Commander deck lists. But what that means is they've kind of gone up without a ton of context around
Yeah,
them.
if you were on the internet at all yesterday, they're up.
they're up, yeah.
And
Yeah.
all 100+ new cards.
Yeah.
A lot of new cards.
But we just happen to have Daniel here, and Daniel, talk about your role with these decks.
Yes,
God,
I
this
was the
cough
lead
is
game
killing me.
designer for the Commander decks. As Gavin mentioned, we've been working on these for years. I remember
And
taking
we
over
we
in
saw
September
a bunch of 'em.
2022 to give that context there. And these 4 decks, we picked 4 games to dive deep on. So when you buy the deck, it's entirely that game. So it was just a lot of fun to go deep. If you saw the panel, Dylan talks, the creative lead talks about the tier system that we used for like tier 1, everyone knows this character. Tier 2, you probably remember that. And then tier 3 are the deeper cuts. These Commander decks got to do those deeper cuts. It was just so much fun kind of concepting what we could put in these decks. And I think I got a few
And as
exciting
much as
ones
I
to show
want,
today.
like,
And if you saw those lists, you
Dado
probably
and
saw a couple as
Edgar and
well of your favorite
Sabin to
moments.
And if you
get
missed
their
them,
like
we're not gonna
cool
show
like
off
2
every
color
new
or
card
3 color
today,
effects.
Because again, originally this wasn't meant to be a reveal. Of
Can't
anything.
win
You
them
have 2
all.
hours, right?
We do not have 2
Oh,
hours.
oh, okay.
I mean, maybe. We'll see. I don't have a meeting till 11:30. We're great. But we're going
That
to talk
cough,
through
man.
all of them. We're going to talk through sort of the themes and the big beats and then some of your favorite cards. So we are going to start with the deck based around Final Fantasy VI,
Yeah,
featuring Terra Herald of Hope
Herald
on
of
the front. So tell us about this deck.
Yeah, we'll go in number order here. This is Final Fantasy VI. This story takes place in kind of 2 parts. So the beginning is like your typical battle.
Yeah, we know all
against
this.
The Empire
So,
and Kefka
yeah,
leading
what's
there. But then Kefka wins
I don't think you're
at the
gonna
end of
reveal any
that,
more new
which
cards.
is the end of quote
And we
Act
went over
1.
the Commander
so in
list
Act 2, the world is at ruin.
yesterday, or
all
not
magic
yesterday,
is
on
back.
Monday.
And
But
your
if you're
party is
watching on
scattered
YouTube,
across the world,
you can
and it is
look
up
at the
to
VODs
Terra
under
and
the live
Celis
tab.
and all of her
And
friends to
went
gather
over
the party
the
back
Final
together
Fantasy
to go fight
6 and
Kefka.
Final
And
Fantasy
that's really
10.
what this deck
And
is
tonight
focused on.
we're
So that's
gonna
what Terra
probably
here
go over
does
Final
with her
Fantasy 7
trance
and
ability to
Final
fill up
Fantasy
your
14.
graveyard to give herself evasion, and then when she connects with your opponent, you pull a party member back to the field
trying
and
to get
continue
my-
your fight.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the cards from this deck.
Cough drops.
Yeah, so the first few cards are kind of the reanimate package
Reanimate,
because speaking
rejoin
of
the fight.
reanimate specifically there in the
Rise. Rise
we had to take a
of
different
Dark
creative
Realm.
approach here. We had to find cards that
Really good
your
art,
party's
really
not
good everything.
dead. Like they're just scattered. Like you're getting them back together. So Yanni was the vision lead before me and Gavin took over respectively, and he pitched this idea of a reanimator deck. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So you got like reanimate. This is not someone coming back to life. It's Kefka reanimating the statues that triggered everything. Rise of the Dark Realms is that moment at the very end of the game where your whole party's together. They're rising to go fight Kefka. I pitched this to Dylan. I was like, I want every character on this card going to that fight. And then on the left, we did to make some new cards like Rejoin the Fight, which, you know, you mill 3 cards. Then each opponent gives you one of your characters back. And with 1 card, you get 3 party members right away to the battlefield.
All right, and then let's see, Coin of Fate.
I wanted to talk about Coin of Fate
I love Coin of
because Alexander Smith was on my team for a while, and he pitched this card as the story moment of Edgar and Sabine deciding who stays to be the king and who gets to go off on a journey. He pitched Monarch right away, so you'll see some other Monarch cards in this deck. They're mostly there because of this card specifically. I really wanted to tell.
The duel.
In the art, you can actually see the double-sided coin. Its heads on both sides. Edgar knew what he was doing, and he let Sabine
It's
go
not
off on his
double-headed.
own.
It's they're
But
twins.
A lot of people in the studio are like, why doesn't
They're
it flip a card? You know, we
twins.
have all these playtests and
It's
review
the- it
meetings. and we're like,
represents
should
the
flip
two
a coin.
brothers.
Like, it's
They're
a
not-
coin.
it's
I
not
was
a
like,
double-headed
I
coin. It's-
promise
they're
you,
just
it's
two
not worth
heads
the words to
because
say
they're
flip a coin, you
twins.
win no matter what. Pick your choice. So we did ultimately go with this, and it plays well in the deck by you
Or
can
not
keep recurring
twin,
it and
like
getting that
younger-
value
like, yeah, I
because
think
not
Edgar
only
is
are you
older,
reanimating
right?
your teammates, but there's some artifact recursion as well.
Okay. And then we can look at
Let's
the
see.
Warring Triad.
The Warring Triad, I wanted to get in the deck because they're the pivotal moment of the
They are
story.
twin
where
brothers.
That, like I mentioned, the reanimate earlier, and they're just really exciting characters to have. But they're kind of they're very large and like dominating.
They are twin
on
brothers,
in
one
the
living
game.
in
Like,
the
they're this
mountains, bringing
giant
to be,
entity
and
of
the other is
source of
King
all
of Figaro.
magic. So like I wanted to capture that. So they
are
come down
twins.
and they don't
That's
do
crazy.
anything at first. They're locked away. They're sealed. But then after you mill enough and fill up your graveyard, they do turn into that threat because you know a 5/5 flying trample haste for 3 mana. It's going
I
to start
was
beating
right.
down your opponents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Um,
right.
I'm going to do this for each of the decks, Daniel.
Yeah.
But you fill in the blank here.
Chat,
for
go in the
fans.
video and
You
tell
will
them that
enjoy
they're
this
not.
Deck if
In
you
fact,
like.
hold on. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. We're doing it live, chat. We're doing it live. I want to see if somebody actually said that they're twins. How do you do a timestamp? Hold on.
Mostly there because of this card specifically. I really wanted to tell. In the art, you can actually see the double-sided coin. Its heads on both sides.
Okay, how do you do a timestamp? Wait, comment, add comment. How do you add comment with like a timestamp? Wait. Let's see. Wait, okay. Amazing flavor. I told my friend about the lore too when they question why doesn't it have a coin flip. Edgar are twin brothers. Yeah, it's okay. So somebody already answered it. So somebody already answered the question. Hold on, let me zoom in. In Final Fantasy VI, Edgar and Sabin are twin brothers and heirs to the throne of Figaro. Their father wanted them to rule together, but died before naming a real successor. Sabin is devastated by his father's hate to nobles and wanting to move on and to be named, and wanting to move on to name the successor. He wants to leave the kingdom behind and vacates the throne for his own freedom, but feels guilty for leaving. Edgar suggests a coin flip where the winner gets to choose what path. Heads for Sabin, tails for Edgar. The coin is a two-headed coin because they're both they're minted. They're both brothers, so they're minted because they're representing the both. They're the twin rulers of the kingdom. Oh, I'm just gonna put not a double-sided coin. It represents the twins of the kingdom of Figaro. It represents the twins, Edgar and Sabin. Right? How do I add a timestamp? Is there like a way to add timestamps? I'll Google how to add timestamp to YouTube comment. Below description, comment, type in the current timeline appears video doing so in the comment box. Okay.
Edgar knew what he was doing, and he let Sabine. In the art, you can actually see the double-sided coin. Its heads on both sides. Edgar knew what he was doing, and he let.
What is the time? Let's see, 32. What, 32:44? Not a double-sided coin. It represents the twins of the King of Figaro. I spelled coin wrong. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do this because I'm paranoid. I never comment. In real time, boys, in real time. Okay. Bam. There we go. Out of order show. It's not a double-sided coin. It represents the twins of the Kingdom of Figaro, Edgar and Sabin. God. It's like these losers. Freaking losers. Gotta do everything myself. All right.
Let Sabine go off on his own. But a lot of people in the studio are like, why doesn't it flip a card? You know, we have all these playtest and review meetings, and like, it should flip a coin. Like, it's a coin. I was like, I promise you, it's not worth the words to say, flip a coin, you win no matter what. Pick your choice. So we did ultimately go with this, and it plays well in the deck by you can keep recurring it.
I had to do the
value because
It's
not
not a
only are you
double-sided
reanimating your
coin.
teammates, but
It's
there's some
actually
artifact
that
recursion as well.
represents the twins of Figaro.
And then we can look at the Warring Triad.
The Warring
Okay.
Triad, I wanted to get in the deck because they're the pivotal moment of the story where that, like I mentioned, the reanimate earlier. And they're just really exciting.
I feel so bad because I totally
characters,
was
to have, but
I was
they're kind
so
of-
nerding out. I was so nerd frenzy
They're very large
that I
and like
didn't even hear
dominating on
anything
the-
about
in
the
the
Warring
game. Like,
Triad.
they're
But we went over this
giant entity
yesterday
of
on Monday.
Source of all magic. So like I wanted to capture that. So they come down and they don't do anything at first. They're locked away. They're sealed. But
They're
then after you mill enough and fill up your graveyard, they do turn into that threat because, you know, a 5/5 flying trample haste for 3 mana, it's going to start beating down your opponents.
Is it now?
I'm going to do this for each of the decks, Daniel. But you fill in the blank here for our fans. You will enjoy this deck if you like.
Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
6 is one of those decks that you like messing with your graveyard, you like getting that value back. You're just accruing value over time. You start with essentially nothing. That's like how the game is. Like everyone's scattered. They're currently in your deck. You're trying to get them to your graveyard, trying to get them to the battlefield. If you cast that Rise of the Dark Realms, you're probably going to win unless somebody has one of those sweepers Gavin was alluding to earlier.
Ultima?
Because you're going to have just a massive board as you go into that final fight of the game. So yeah, really, if you like engines and discarding and reanimating, that's what this deck's for.
All right. Now, since we haven't
Okay.
since we haven't talked about this deck a ton, is there anything else that you want to talk about this deck that we didn't get a chance to show here?
Sure. There, if you watch the panel, there was a question in the game section that Gavin hosted that which Final Fantasy VI has the largest cast of characters. It has 14 playable characters in it. I got all of them in the deck. That
He
that
did.
was probably one of the challenges with
Crazy
this deck. Is
how
I
he
really
got it.
wanted to be true to fans.
Kinda
and I'm
cheated
like,
with
if
some,
you have
like,
a favorite
the Realm
character,
and
I want you
Sturgo
to
being
find
the
that
same
character in this
card.
deck. We got like
But the
Strago
fact
and
that the
Realm sharing
Dog
card, that's how we
Inspector is
were
its
able to,
own
like,
character is kinda baller.
Kind of not have so many new cards and new
I
legends. there.
kind of respect that.
Oh, they got Shadow and Interceptor both in
Oh,
separate cards.
I
right?
did
That's
have
awesome.
to do that one just because that was such a cute pairing to
Yeah.
do. You should never throw your dog, but if you do, it's really going to hurt your opponent. Angelo Cannon reference there too, I guess.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, all about throwing dogs at your opponent.
That's what I've learned. So yeah, that was probably one of the challenges with this deck, and also just the creative of getting things back together. I know there's a stitched together card in there that is a reference of a memory and things like that, but not really reanimating from the dead.
Very cool. Again, all of these
cool.
deck lists that we're going to be talking about can be found on dailymtg.com. But let's move on to our Final Fantasy VII deck with Cloud X Soldier at the helm. Tell us
Right.
about this deck.
So this is obviously led by Cloud.
Are they
This
gonna
is an
talk about
equipment
all-
deck,
nothing but
because
the
he has a giant
commanders?
sword. And getting to the number 7
they
for
are.
some
Okay,
reason,
I'm looking
I don't know why
ahead.
that number is there. But ultimately, when you equip your party members, you're going to get to power 7 or greater and unlock more
Okay,
abilities
so they
on
they
those,
are talking
Pretty
about
solid card.
played
the
14 plus, and
cards.
on the board you're accruing.
Have for today. It's definitely not all we have for Final Fantasy.
Okay, hold
Once
on.
we work out
And doing damage over time.
the 4G.com. Once we work out some kinks in the background, we'll have videos for each of the 4 decks going up on YouTube. But definitely
you know
check
what?
those, full of them.
Let's go back
You guys
to
don't sacrifice
what's it
your,
called? Clouds,
Actually,
because
this is the deck.
we'll kill
that
2 birds with
has
1 stone.
2 mana here. I took
We'll
as
two-
well,
we'll
so
kill 2 birds with 1
and
stone.
whereas most people would say, man, that's a really hard. So this is kind of doing numbers there.
Soldier list that we're,
We're
going
gonna
to
kill 2 birds with 1
with
stone.
Cloud to our Final Fantasy VII deck.
Yeah, we're gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. We're gonna go. We'll talk about the Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy XIV decks because that's what they're going over. So we don't have to like waste time with that, and then we'll go over some of the preview stuff in more detail.
Deck with Cloud X Soldier at the helm. Tell us
Right.
about this
Soldier.
deck.
So this is obviously led by
Soldier.
Cloud. This is an equipment deck because he has a giant sword. And
Giant
getting to the number
sword.
7 for some reason, I don't know why that number is there. But ultimately, when you equip your party members, you're going to get to power 7 or greater and unlock more abilities on those cards. So
Man, it was
Cloud
crazy. A
himself
year
has
ago, we were
haste
talking
magic
about how
right
they were
away.
gonna.
He gets
I didn't
an
think they were gonna
equipment
like
cost for
do
free.
commander
He
specific.
gets to draw cards whenever you attack
characters.
with
I thought they were gonna be
equipped
like,
creatures,
oh,
your
there's
party
gonna be
members.
like,
and then
or-
if he
like,
has 7 more
what's it
power,
called?
you
Like
get 2 treasures
a
to start
chaos
fueling
deck
those spells and
that
other
represents all the
equip
bad
costs.
guys.
So
I
let's
thought
take a
there
look
was
in the
gonna
deck.
be a
Yeah. So first up, we have
an order deck
Barrett.
that represents all the good
I
guys.
want to talk about Barrett today.
I thought they were
because
gonna do like
you might
a
have seen
monster
Jobstock
deck where it
equipment
has all the
in,
Final Fantasy creatures
in the main set.
in one deck.
I wanted to
And then,
make
like,
a card
I don't
that
know,
granted
like, what the
job
final deck
select
was
to
gonna be, like a
things, but
Chocobo deck?
One ones didn't feel quite right for Barrett. He is a rebel leader, so I was like, hey, we got 4 Mirrodin cards people probably want to play in this Final Fantasy VII deck. Let's give them a token that also could be used for those cards. So this
Rebels.
is kind of doing double duty there. So it's kind of granting 4 Mirrodin to all your equipment, so you get a 2/2 red rebel every time you play an
2/2
equipment.
rebel.
For Avalanche.
For Avalanche.
For Avalanche.
And at the
For
beginning
Avalanche.
of combat, you get that free
My
equipment for the
Avalanche.
rebel, so you get to kind of dodge the equip cost there as well.
That is crazy. Oh, dude, yes.
All right, now I do have a
It
question before we go
is
into more of
crazy.
these. So,
This set is
you know, this
bananas.
is a white, red,
And
and
the
green
secret
deck. A lot of
layers
the
is
time,
bananas, and
we
then,
see equipment decks be
um,
focused on.
Earlier in my Discord, a friend of the channel, Lazy Dargan, posted that there's like a Japanese only Ristic study as well, or it might be in the main set. We don't know yet because they're going to be previewing more cards. Apparently, every weekly MTG is a preview drop of Final Fantasy leading up to the release of it, and then I know that there are certain influencers and like friends of the Magic community that have been dropping. Like Matt Mercer today just dropped the Vincent Valentine because he's the voice actor for Final Fantasy VII Trilogy, the the voice. He's doing the voice of Vincent Valentine. So yeah,
On white red.
they're
what brought you
going
to, Ed?
ham bony on the set. They want to break. I guarantee you. Oh, excuse me. I guarantee you, this set is going to beat the Lord of the Rings set, without a doubt. 100%. People are like, it's. I think it's still sold out. Like there was a moment where I think it was after PAX East. They were like, oh, we got some more Amazon. Like yeah. There's like, okay, prices are higher than normal. Look at all buying options. $200 for the Play Booster set. Okay, I gotta look at what the collectors. If the collectors are even buyable. Let me see. Not shipped yet. Because I got a Play Booster set, a Play Booster box set, the starter kit, the collector editions Commander bundle, and then a collector booster box, and the gift bundle or the bundle gift edition. There's like, yeah, okay, so prices are higher than normal. Wow, there's one for $800. $800 for a collector booster box. That is crazy. Oh, about collector booster packs. How much are they going for? $84 for one collector booster for 15. Oh my god, man. Oh my god, this is crazy. This is actually crazy. I am actually kind of shocked. Yeah, 12 packs for collector boosters. Yeah, $800, bro.
Green to this deck.
Oh,
We really wanted to make sure that we had enough colors in the deck to capture a wide selection of characters, moments, etc. So that's kind of why we went with
This
3
is
colors
cra-
for all the
I'm
decks,
still
and then
just
even some we had
amazed
to,
by
as Gavin put,
this set. The
is a
set is, like I said,
snapshot
is
moment of
going
the
to
character.
blow.
So we're not looking at
um,
Sephiroth today, who's in the deck,
What's it called?
but we show him as red
blow,
white, whereas most people would say, man,
Lord of
that's a
the
really
Rings out
mono
of
black
water.
type character, like the
Yeah.
mono black Sephiroth in there. Doing that let us capture certain
Although
characters that we
I
otherwise
think.
couldn't. So the red white Sephiroth is kind of working.
Sorry,
Still,
I don't want to interrupt because, like I said, we haven't really previewed the Final Fantasy VII deck. Although I will say maybe there might be some cultural backlash to this set as well, because Lord of the Rings I think is like Magic adjacent enough. Like there's this like high fantasy. I don't know which one came out first, but if Lord of the Rings or if Chronicles of Narnia, I forget which one of those two books came out first, but that is like classic high fantasy, but like fantasy that is like built upon the Magic universe is definitely like some fucking Tolkien, like elves and orcs and dwarves and all that stuff. That is definitely harkened to the Magic the Gathering like mythos and like what they build all their worlds upon. Whereas like Narnia is like satyrs and lions and witches. Like it's like kind of a cartoonish more than like deep enriched like, European like lore sets coming together. But yeah, I think Lord of the Rings was adjacent enough to Magic where Magic fans like Lord of the Rings, so that's why it was like sought after and a bunch of people bought it. Whereas this is like the basically it is a more expensive set, so it's not going to be the same cost as Lord of the Rings, so that's already going to piss off hardcore grognard old school Magic fans. Plus this is like, oh, this isn't fantasy, this is JRPG, this is anime. Like there's going to be that stigma around it as well. And then there's the ultimate stigma, which is like, how does this like this Universes Beyond is just like kind of eclipsing what Magic is all about. Magic's supposed to be this like these worlds of like Ravnica and Mirrodin and like Phyrexia and like Innistrad and like all those places, right? And like, oh, but look at the this big corporate sponsorship. Here comes Magic, here comes Final Fantasy, and it's like, there's gonna be all these people who are like not for me, no. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe that might. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. But I think this thing is like, this is definitely like celebrating both like the old school, like people who love playing JRPGs, because like, let's face it, like if you play Magic, you have played a Final Fantasy at some point in your life in some capacity, or know what Final Fantasy is. I'd be almost like surprised if you're just like, all I know is Magic the Gathering, but never like, you had to own a PlayStation, you had to have seen like Advent Children, you had to have seen something that is evolve around fucking Final Fantasy. Like it's just too like, it's like fucking apple pie and vanilla ice cream. They just come, they can be served and they're delicious by themselves, but together it just makes a better appetite. And it's just like, oh, it's so good. But you know, I just don't see, and the fact that like the original Final Fantasies are Tolkien inspired, you know, classic mythology, but all the popular Final Fantasies are like cyberpunk, sort of like dystopian, corporate, you know, revenge type stories, right? It's weird. Okay, let's go back to it. Cloud,
Well, that
focusing
heroic,
on the
but
Final
he's
Fantasy
starting to
VII.
go a little emotional, a little crazy there in Nibelheim, etc.
Nibelheim.
So we added green to get some of those things represent like the planet, the life stream. I think Aerith probably could have been a mono white card if we designed a certain way, but it's a white green card here, and things like that. Just more story moments and characters in the deck.
All right. Well, let's take a look at some of those story moments and items and men. So we've got Ultimate Magic, Holy Ultimate Magic,
Oh my God.
Meteor, and Livestream's
I didn't
Blessing.
see
Ultima
this.
adjacent,
Yeah.
we'll say.
Ultima-
No, we're
Adjacent.
on theme here with
Yeah.
the
Ultima
ultimate
Magic,
No,
man.
I wanted to talk about these three cards because it's not often we make a
Holy
three-card
and
cycle.
Meteor.
But you know, it's kind of, if
Foretell.
you only have one foretell card in the deck, it's kind of telling what you foretold. So I wanted to make sure we had multiple options.
4
and
foretells.
I really like this set because there's something reactive, proactive, and destructive. So when I foretell one of these, you don't know which it is,
The
and
spells
I
are
would want
crazy.
to foretell all of them. So all of these have an ability when you cast
Yeah,
it.
let's just go over the cards real quick. So, Holy, permanents you control gain indestructible until the end of turn. If the spell was cast from exile, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. Foretell 3, during your turn you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast it later for its foretell. Yeah. Oh, I made that comment on Monday on the previous video. It's not Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3. It's Fire, Fyra, and Viagra. And I think I wanted to put like a poll in the chat, and we had quite a few people on the YouTube chat, to be like, if people are okay with the nomorification of that, because I feel like after 9 and 10 became a thing, and Nomura was like pretty much he was the lead character designer, I believe, in Final Fantasy X. Because he did the lead design for Final Fantasy VII. He was like an artist in Final Fantasy VI. And so the Fire, Fyra, and Viagra was introduced, I believe, in Final Fantasy X, if I am not mistaken. And I don't have a problem with with that, because it Ooh, okay. When did it first appear? Oh, Fire Algra was the second upgrade to the Fire Black Mage. Often first the Ga spell to access. Meltdown Flare. That's Final Fantasy 12. When was Dark Viagra? Hell Viagra? That's in fucking Crisis Core and all that stuff. Appearances. Okay, so Final Fantasy 3, or Final Fantasy in Final Fantasy Origins, it goes by Fur 3. Okay. And then Final Fantasy 3, it goes by A level 6 spell purchased for 10,000 gil can be used by Black Mage, Mages, Sir. Okay. Final Fantasy 4. It still goes by Fire 3. Okay, Interlude, After Years. Final Fantasy 5. It is still called level 5 is a level 5 Black Mage spell. Okay. In 6, it is Fire 3. I remember that. 7, it was definitely Fire 3. Final Fantasy Remake, that's when they remade it. Rebirth, 4 Crisis, Crisis Core. 8. I think that's they didn't do the name change. I know they didn't do the name change in 8, and they didn't do the name change in 9. Let's see. Final Fantasy 10. I think it's Final Fantasy 10 where they changed it. I'm pretty sure that's when they changed the spells. Yeah, elemental terms. Let's see. Fire, ice. Yeah, I think I'm getting distracted. You probably go back. But I mostly played 6, 7, 8. 8 was different. Was 8 when they introduced the Agra and Fyra? Huh.
And if it was cast from exile,
8 never happened, by the way. 8 was a mistake. Just so you know. It literally is a mistake because the game never happened because it's a paradox. So the game actually does not exist because if you go with the time, if you actually go with the full game and like the ending and everything, nothing happens because it's all time paradox. It all kind of flips back on its face. So 8 never happened. You played a story, you played a game, but canonically, nothing changes. It literally begins in one spot and ends in the same spot because it's all time. It's all big time paradox. So, like, I like to make that joke that Final Fantasy VIII never happened because it technically, canonically, never happened. Because the way the game ending and everything about that game goes, it's all time paradox. And then, like I said, 9 is for the fucking weirdos. Like, if you like Final Fantasy 9, you're a weirdo. And Gavin, he says he loves 9, and it totally makes sense. Gavin, he's the lead designer of Magic. He is perfect. He's a perfect weirdo. He don't need to touch grass. He's like a level of zenith of like game designer and nerd that he is in charge of Magic the fucking Gathering, which is the highest crown of achievement of a nerd that you can possibly achieve. So you're a fucking weirdo. 9 is for the weirdos, for the sick. I don't even call it the sickos because I think if you play anything before Final Fantasy 4/2, that makes you a sicko. Oh, actually, maybe not. Well, okay, 3 is weird because 1, 2, and 3 never came out in America, and then when they put out 3, they remade it into the DS version, and so the DS version is the better version of 3 versus the vanilla 3, and like 1 doesn't even have a plot, and then 2 is like barely a plot. So if you're just like that guy who walks out, I'm like, dude, I love Final Fantasy 2, man. It's like so fucking captivating and fearing. I'd be like, dude, you're a sicko. You're actually legitimately just a Final Fantasy sicko at that point. You're just so like, okay, let's break down the like fandom, okay? So if you love Final Fantasy, and I'm not even gonna say individually with this one, if you love Final Fantasy 1 through 3, you're a sicko. Because that's like the old hardcore JRPG stuff that you fucking like. If you like Final Fantasy 2/4 through 6, then you're big brain. You're actually the Einstein of Final Fantasy. You like the Final Fantasy series because that is the 4, 5, and 6 is the most refined of Final Fantasies. In fact, 4 or 5, which is the job system with Bart, you could honestly say is the best prequel to one of the other best Final Fantasies that ever happened, which is Final Fantasy Tactics. And so like that job system was the refinement that eventually got us the epic that is Final Fantasy Tactics, right? But you need to have Final Fantasy V in order. You need to have like the the nice white wine in order to go onto the Bordeaux, right? That's how it kind of goes, right? And then 4 is like amazing in its storytelling, but the system and like it's great because it plays out like a soap opera. It is like the best fantasy soap opera you could possibly get, like with like the betrayals and the love interests and like the cast of characters. It is a honest to god great a great fantasy soap opera trope, whereas 6 is like the big brain, big narrative, one of the best stories that have ever been told on the face of the planet of mankind. There's only one other game that beats it outright as far as storytelling and like the systems and the characters, and everything about 6 is just so great. And then you get to Final Fantasy 7, which if you're like a ride and die, I love Final Fantasy 7. Fucking God, I love Final Fantasy 7. It's the best RPG ever. You're a basic bitch. You're actually a basic bitch. You're the most basic bitch, like vanilla tasting missionary, fucking use my turn signals, stop at every light, basic bitch, law abiding citizen, generic dude on the you don't even get a gender. You're just a them they basic bitch. You're that's baby's first JRPG. Get in back of the line. You're basic. You're basic. And the fact that these people are getting a remake and a remaster and a rebirth and whatever, blah, 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 right? And they got a movie and they got spin-off games, and it's like it's just empty calories. Final Fantasy 7 is just fucking empty calories, and these people are just eating up the gruel. They're eating up this fucking gruel, and I honestly feel sorry for them. Like even when Remake and Rebirth came out, they were not my games of the year by far. In fact, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I was being punished for trying to like this game. 8 never happened, so we can move on. 8 was a mistake. Literally did not happen. 9 is for the weirdos. Like I said, if you like 9, you're a fucking weirdo. You're not a sicko like the old school heads that played Final Fantasy 1 through 3. So you're not a sicko, but you're a weirdo. You like the fantasy, you like the characters. Oh, look, it's Vivi. Look, he's a thief. Oh, look, there's the princess. And oh, there's the big knight. Like, you're just a weirdo. You're just a weirdo. And then like the main villain is like kind of whack, kind of lame, to be honest. What game beats 6? Oh, easy. The GOAT. Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is literally the GOAT. It is the dream team. They literally call it the dream team because it will never happen again. And I feel like I'm reiterating a lot about Monday's broadcast on this stream because you're new to the channel, and I'm kind of like, I like repeating myself sometimes. After this set of Magic, I don't think I'm going to be excited about Magic anymore. I think this is peaked for me. Like, yeah, we have a Marvel set, we have a Spider-Man set. I don't give a shit about Avatar any way, shape, or form. I love Dave Filoni. I like what he did with the Star Wars series with Rebels and Clone Wars, and what he's doing now with the Star Wars series as far as live action. But like, I like Dave Filoni as a creator, but his creation of Avatar, it just never appealed. So we know we're getting Avengers. We know we're getting X-Men. We are getting some Marvel tie-in stuff, but the problem is that Marvel or Disney is never going to want to compete with itself. So we're going to get these half-assed Marvel sets because they have Marvel Snap, or they have some sort of digital collaboration, or they have some sort of like stake in maintaining their IP separate from Magic: The Gathering for Wizard of the Coast of Hasbro. So unless Disney buys Hasbro, which I'm not gonna say that could happen, but fucking Disney is Disney. But like, let's give a good example of one thing that they did. Right? They could have made an Avengers set with the Avengers and Commander decks, right? But they didn't, because we just got these Avenger, like we got the Marvel Secret Layers, right? And Marvel is okay with that. Marvel's like, okay, these people buy these one-shot, one-time use collector's items that don't take away from our IP. In fact, it just strengthens our IP. And we don't have to compete with that card being a readily available, like Marvel Snaps or Lorcon, whatever, right? The Disney card game, whatever. So whenever and we already see it in the Spider-Man set, how lackluster it is. It's gonna be as lackluster as the Assassin's Creed deck or the Assassin's Creed set, where it's like, this is standard, but it's not gonna be a full set, and you're not gonna get commander cards, so don't plan on making, like, it's gonna be really hard to make commander cards with these Spider-Man set. And oh yeah, by the way, it's not gonna carry over to Arena. There's gonna be Arena like cards like them. It's because the IP is just such a clusterfuck, right? That it's just so messy that like I said, I love me some Spider-Man, I love me some X-Men. I've always been an Avengers fanboy ever since, when the Avengers were B tier heroes. Like back in the 90s, nobody cared about the Avengers. All the kids liked were X-Men and Spider-Man, because that was like the best of, like, Jim Lee's X-Men was like phenomenal. Like Jeffrey Loeb's Spider-Man series, which we got Minimum Carnage, and then we got Maximum Carnage, and then we got this the Clone Wars type stuff. That's what was appealing. That's what was like popping off in the 90s for like Marvel IP, right? So I'm basically going all out on this Magic set, because I think after this set I'm pretty much like, I gotta build my Hatsune Miku like commander deck, but I'm pretty much have the Hatsune Miku collaboration is over for now. We think it's over. I think that was like the final secret layer that they released for Hatsune Miku. So I think that contract's done. And right, that's pretty much it. Like the only IP that would bring me back and put me at an insane level of like the amount of like money and time and content I'm creating around this block would probably be Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is the only other IP I see myself going like ham bony. But then there's also a caveat, which is, yeah, they could get all this art, they could get guest artists, they could do all this stuff like they're doing with Final Fantasy, get big collaboration, big promo tours. But the fact that Akira Toriyama is no longer with us, we're never going to get a card. And we're never going to get original Magic: The Gathering artwork done by Akira Toriyama. Like that is, like, if you really think about that like we are now, like, if that were a thing in the world, like, we are now deprived of that. We are now deprived of a Magic card, a collaboration without its like creator around, right? Like Amano, who is the lead designer for all the Final Fantasy cover art, like, and he has a bunch of arts here. Like, he's still alive, and I'm glad that he made the new Terra card, and I'm so in love with that Terra card. I wish I will get. If I don't get it in any of the like collector boosters I'm getting, those are the two cards I'm gonna buy singles day one. Is the Terra card and the Kefka card, because Ano is like the GOAT of artists, but like, those are the two cards I desperately want just for the art itself, their original Amano art. I want to go to his exhibit in Japan and I think he's gonna open up like a satellite exhibit in LA, and I'm definitely gonna go to that when the time comes. But yeah, like Dragon Ball is the only other IP that I see going like just sicko mode like I am right now. I could talk about the other Final Fantasies where I rank them. I said that Final Fantasy X was probably the best Final Fantasy out of all the Final Fantasies because it introduced voice acting. It was on the PlayStation 2, so we got that bump in high res. The graphics didn't look like blocks like it did in Final Fantasy or in the PlayStation 1 era. It had great story, has great characters, has great battle system. I think Final Fantasy X is the best Final Fantasy as a franchise, as like oh, you've never played Final Fantasy, what Final Fantasy should I play? My number one response every single time would be Final Fantasy 14 or Final Fantasy 10. Because those Final Fantasy 14 is like the best Final Fantasy to play with people and to kind of understand the world because it's an amusement park. The MMO is just like you go through every expansion and it's like it feels like in the Final Fantasy amusement park. You're like, oh, these are references to 6, these are references to 9, references to 10, references to whatever. But like as far as the best Final Fantasy to get people to play Final Fantasy, I would say 10 is the best because the story's amazing, the twists are really good, because there is voice acting, it doesn't just become like I gotta read every single line of text like other previous Final Fantasies. So it's more digestible with the cutscenes, and then the cutscenes are really good. Like the full motion, not the motion capture, but the full video cutscenes are really beautiful, really great. So, and then we don't talk about 11. We definitely don't talk about 12. 13's all right, but 13 has its problems, and I would tell you to go check out the video. I'll try to see if I can link it somewhere, like a title, like good YouTubers. I'll try to see if I can link this somewhere so you can actually look at the old video for it. But anyway, man, I just get sidetracked because I love Final Fantasy so much. I like talking about Final Fantasy so much that I'm like going on this like whole rant about Final Fantasy and like how good it is and what's digestible, and we're not even talking about magic anymore. Anyways, so Holy Foretell, Ultimate Magic, Meteor, deals 7 damage to each creature. If the spell was cast from exile, or each opponent choose an artifact or land that player controls destroy the chosen permanents. Wow. Oh man, land destruction. No bueno. Okay, live stream blessing. I didn't think that was a live stream blessing. I thought that was a Sephiroth's cocoon in the core of the live stream. I didn't think that was a blessing, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe that's where he is receiving the live stream's blessing. I don't know. I'm not that big of a. I get a lot of. Trust me, I'm a fiend when it comes to Final Fantasy VII lore, because when I was a kid, there was not like I obsessed over Nomura and like everything he was releasing, like the cell phone games of Ever Crisis, and talking about original Avalanche with his original like leader, because like Barrett is kind of like a cell of Avalanche. He doesn't represent the actual whole Avalanche, which is like kind of prevalent, and they talk about that in Remake and Rebirth, that he's not actually like, he's just a cell. It's kind of like the Rebellion in Star Wars, where it's like, yeah, there's the Rebellion that's on Yavin, but then you have like all these other people that are part of the Rebellion, but they do their own actions. That's kind of like what Tifa and Barrett and all of them are doing in Midgard. They're acting on their own without the like overall permission of the Avalanche organization, and it kind of screws them over. Draw X cards, where X is the greatest power amongst creatures you control as you cast this spell. If this spell was cast from exile, you gain X life, twice X life. Okay, these are really cool cards.
Either through its own foretell or other bottling shenanigans, as we learned from Gavin, you will get that secondary effect. So I really wanted these to connect as well. So Ultimate Magic Meteor does 7 damage to each creature. Hey, that number's showing up again. And you get to destroy an artifact or land that player controls if you cast from exile. Well, if you cast Holy, you can stop all of that. All your stuff gets indestructible, and then you prevent all the damage that would be dealt to you this turn, so it fogs you as well.
Okay.
And then Lifestream Blessing is just a very strong draw spell if you have strong creatures on the battlefield.
All right.
Funny.
Next grouping of cards, we have an assortment of equipment.
Equipment.
Yeah, so I mentioned party members with FF6 earlier. I took the same approach with FF7, where I wanted to show all the party members in the deck, but then I went one step further. I was like, I want all the party members to have their equipment in this deck. It's an equipment-based deck.
But
So
it's not
between
like the
reprints and
equipment.
the new
It's not their
cards,
equipment.
I showed a bunch of different characters' equipment. So you can put the Hero's Blade that features the Buster Sword onto Cloud. You can put Tifa's Lightning Greaves on her. Sword of the Animus for Aerith.
It's so
And
stupid.
then a new card, Conformer Shuriken, 2 mana, 2 to equip. And whenever it attacks, the equipped creature attacks, you get to tap something down, so you throw your Shuriken at them, and you get counters equal to the difference in power there. And that's actually what the Conformer Shuriken does in the game. So for the new cards, I got to dive deep into the material and materia, if you will, and
And
design
the
these
lightning
cards.
group. I love all these
All
cards,
right.
but
And
like
then we showed this off on the day of the debut, but this is the deck that has Secret Rendezvous in it.
Yes.
And then there are 3 other versions. So let's talk about this. What's going on here?
Right, so this represents the famous date scene at the Golden Saucer, where you, depending
one
on
I
your
will get.
answers to different
hope I
questions
get
throughout the game, you get
either
a different
Tifa
date.
or Aerith.
I chose Secret Rendezvous for the deck as a reprint for that moment. When going into these decks, I got to write down, I'm like, hey, I want this reprint. Here's a thought top line. We have a full top line meeting, but I had an Excel sheet going into it, be like, I think this could represent that. So that's what I picked here. And left unchecked, I probably would have chose Tifa as obviously for Cloud here. But Zakil,
yeah,
the
they
Private
probably
Architect,
they do
came
have
to
some
me,
new
he's like,
equipment,
"Can we
like
just
the
do all of them?"
Shuriken,
I
but
think he
like
secretly wanted
the Buster Sword
Aerith.
is in the game, is
I
in the
don't
card
remember
game, but they have
which,
yet to
but,
reveal it.
We got all 4 thanks
But
to him.
most of
So
the
if you open the
most of
commander
the
deck, you will get
equipment
the Tifa one,
like
but
a
then you can
job
the other 3
select.
in collector boosters, if I'm not mistaken.
I wonder if the Buster Sword is
In
going to
your
be a
playthrough,
job
would you-
select.
Have you done all of these scenarios?
I haven't done them all. I just
I
played
have.
through Rebirth and Remake, and I ended up with Aerith. I think I wanted Tifa, but I certainly dodged Yuffie.
All right. Let's move on to. Actually, before we go on to our next deck, you'll like this deck if.
You'll like this deck if you like big numbers, specifically 7, if you can get there. But bigger is better. This deck's a little straightforward with its concept, but there are some cool plays you can do, especially like with Tifa giving you extra combats and stuff. You really just want to assemble your party and get all of their numbers bigger, because they all get better if you can get their powers to 7 or greater with either your equipment, your triggered abilities, and things like that. And then you have cards like Sephiroth, who is just 7 power on his own. He doesn't need any equipment attached to him.
All right, very cool. All right, now let's move on to the Final Fantasy X deck featuring Tidus.
This is my personal favorite Final Fantasy game, so I gave this deck a lot of love for sure. Right away, I knew when I was designing this deck that I wanted to reference the Sphere Grid. That's the in-game system where you move counters around or move pebbles around on a board.
Which I
to
think we
grant
talked about
new
yesterday, so we'll
ability
move,
for,
or we talked about
all right,
Monday.
next we-
ball cap.
Kind of as you were talking.
Waka is like the best card for the whole. We talked about it on Monday, and if you want to check out the video, the fact that he does damage, he can destroy artifacts and put +1 counters, and then he can move counters. Like, bro, he is godlike. He is actually godlike. Let me see. I want to check out my videos real quick. When's my Final Fantasy 7 playthrough? Where was this? There's Spider-Man. I really got to create like a list. Okay, that's Endwalker. Oh, I guess. Do I not have all my playthrough stuff? I guess the only ones I have is free time today just to play more Final. Oh, this is when my computer was like uber fucked. When I was having the melting issue. So I don't think I have my full Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth playthrough on YouTube. Oh, that sucks. Thinking about that now. So let's see. I have all Final Fantasy 16. I have, let's see, Happy New Year's. I have Final Fantasy 14. Dawn Trail. Let's see. All you need is Viper. I have, yeah, that's when okay. So I did Rebirth. So I have one Rebirth stream that's 3 hours long. And then I upload on YouTube the recordings of the other ones because that was when my computer was like melting. Long story short, I was one of the lucky few. Final Fantasy 14 good? Yes? Question mark? Okay. So Final Fantasy 14 is great. There is some valid criticism about the game over the years. Like, I would say I've played Final Fantasy 14. I played 1.0, but it was trash. So I stopped playing it. And then I forgot my account info because I didn't know what email I put it under, and I couldn't recover my account. So when Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn came out, I ended up making a brand new Square Enix account and played 2.0. So that's 2.0. Realm Reborn is 2.0. And that game was fantastic, but it had its problems. But it was like any MMO. It's not perfect, but it was so raw and so great for its time that was like it was like I played it nonstop. As the expansions go on, they introduce new classes, they introduce new mechanics. The story is the chef's kiss of the whole series. The problem is that because you're saying, is Final Fantasy 14 good? I would say yes, Final Fantasy 14 is good. But do you have 200 plus hours? Almost. Or like a month or 2 months even. To start from a Realm Reborn to where we're at now, which is Dawn Trail. Because the story is so good from beginning to end, and the payoff, the ending to what's called the Hydaelyn Zodiac saga. Okay, you're just a Nogra. Then play the free trial. The free trial, like, you know that meme where it says play the critical MMO RPG Final Fantasy 14 up to, and they say insert. I think you could play up to Stormblood, which is really good. It's a really good, from Realm Reborn all the way to Stormblood is fantastic. You get you get some really cool classes. You get really cool story modes. You get really cool, there's just a lot there. I would play the trial. It's only $20. Is it only $20? I don't know, but you definitely have to pay for the monthly subscription, which kind of sucks. But they keep on adding stuff to it that makes it friendly for newer players. Like something that they added later on for the sort of the late game, not late game, but later in the expansion type stuff, is where you can have NPCs for story-based dungeons or story-based like events. You can hire the NPCs to run you through the dungeon. So you don't have to wait in queue. You can basically rely on NPCs, and they're pretty smart, to basically do the damage, do mechanics for you in order to get past story blocks so that you can progress with the story. And they're doing that retroactively to older content. So like older content where you're like, oh, I'm stuck because I have to do this stupid dungeon and I played a DPS class, so it's going to take me like fucking 40 minutes to queue up for this dungeon. They have this ability where it's like like I said, some of the older content allows you to retroactively summon these NPCs. I won't spoil what these NPCs are, what they do, but they help you get through the content quicker if you are trying to get past certain things. there's obviously going to be like gear check and item check. Like there's item level in that game. If you play like WoW, for instance, you know about item level. Same thing with this. This has a required item level. But still, it's a really good MMO. The story is so good. But this last expansion, this Dawn Trail expansion, kind of is like the glaring problem with the MMO. And this is my tinfoil hat theory. So what makes Final Fantasy XIV great is that it is from a team of basically rebels. They're the people who are making and running Final Fantasy XIV. They're freaking rebels. They're the crappiest, underrated game developers that never get any recognition whatsoever. Nomura completely came to the Final Fantasy XIV project with no expectation, and he's like, look, I'm going to take what I learned from playing World of Warcraft, and we're going to implement that into our game. And he's a celebrity. Now he's the game, he literally steered the ship around. There's a great clip, Final Fantasy XIV. This is the perfect documentary of, and I'll just show the teaser of it. Let's see. Let me put this on screen. This is probably the most beautiful way to kind of understand the story of what the Final Fantasy XIV story is. The death and rebirth of Final Fantasy XIV. Let's see.
Again, localization being in a position where we get to see all the parts come together first. We were some of the first to realize that, Houston, we have a problem. Everyone was really, really proud of their parts. They're like, yes, we have this great battle system, with stamina, and you had this story team. Like, yes, we have this story. Oh, hey, we have these guild leads, and look at this grass. It's so beautiful.
I have some of those
but
shirts.
Once you put it together, it was kind of a mess. So in localization, we just got to the point where it kind of went from thinking, okay, this project's going to be great, to, there might be some problems. Can we fix them? Can we fix them? Okay, we can't fix them. Is there anything we can do? I don't know.
There are no shortage of games that live under the Square Enix banner, but none as big as Final Fantasy. But with each new game comes the promise of a new story, a new myth.
The fall and rise of Final Fantasy XIV happened in real time in front of millions of people around the world.
Where once stood a game that threatened to sink the Final Fantasy brand forever, now stands the second most popular subscription MMO in the world.
But we wanted to know about this story from an entirely new perspective, from inside the corporate machine that made it happen, that led to its terrible launch and ultimately its incredible rebirth.
Was that Soken in the background? I don't even know that was Soken. It might have. This is really loud.
I don't think that they realized immediately that it was something that couldn't be solved via patches. I think they still believe that, if we patch it, it'll be fine. And it wasn't until Yoshida-san came in and told them, this is not something that can be patched. If we want to fix this, we're going to have to take a drastic step.
If you have any interest in playing Final Fantasy 14,
出張で東京に来た時に秋葉原をね時間を作ってゾンビのように店をこう うろうろしてエヴァークエストってゲームないですかエヴァークエストってな
Yeah,
いですかって
EverQuest. Like, see, he was like, I'm a Western fanboy. He's a Westerboo. He likes Western ideas and Western like concepts. So like, he brought that to Final Fantasy 14. The problem, and I'm gonna get to the problem now, is that because they were a ragtag group of rebels that like built this game up, and he was able to reinvigorate and elevate it to, like you said, the second most, and I think it overtook at some point. I think it did overtake WoW being the most popular MMO at some point. I think maybe during Shadowbringer or Endwalker it overtook WoW. The problem is that Square Enix, the bosses of Square Enix, recognized that talent, recognized that ability, and basically forced them to leave Final Fantasy 14 to make Final Fantasy 16. And the people who were left weren't even the B team, because the B team, Yoshi knew that his talent was going to be cultivated in a way. Actually, now that we're talking about 14, let's go to the 14 deck real quick as we talk about, right there. So we're going to be talking about 14 here in a sec. Since we're on the 14 topic, so he decides, Yoshi knows that he wasn't going to be around, that these people that made Final Fantasy 14 great weren't always going to stick around, because you move in game development, you kind of move around. You want to explore new ideas, you want to flex your like capability, right? And even him, he got promoted to chief officer at Square Enix. He was the money bag. Like, Square was so impressed by his ability to make this product financially successful that they basically said, you're in charge of the money now. And so he knew, because he took on more responsibility, and because the Square Enix chiefs and executives were like, we want your team to make the next Final Fantasy, he already was like, okay, I've cultivated and created this B team. And the B team I've already put them to work. I've given them like, some few pitches, and, you'll be surprised at what they've made. And then, at a few panels, they've said, oh, this girl right here, she was the lead writer of Shadowbringers. And everybody's like, oh my God, Shadowbringers was like the best storyline ever. Holy shit. Like, you wrote it? Fuck yeah. But it turns out that even the B team was pulled on to work on another project, and we don't know what that project is. I'm guessing that it was the story after Dawn Trail, the current expansion that we're currently in right now. They were like, okay, we have to make an expansion for our executives, but we don't have like a real story yet. But maybe we can have like a soliloquy, like something that's kind of like not really too serious, but not really like too investment. We just got off this Hydaelyn Zodiac Chronicle, this saga, this 6 expansion story, and it finally ends. And now we're on this new chapter. We're on this new beginning, and we don't really know what we're coming up with. So they probably took the B team and said, hey, you're going to be doing like future planning. But then the C team was like, you got to create an expansion that's kind of the holdout expansion. And they've dubbed it the summer vacation expansion. It's just stuff happens. There is an end of the world plot, but it just kind of feels phoned in and not really. It doesn't have like the same sort of robust feel as like the previous expansion story wise. I've heard it's getting a little bit better because maybe they're starting to implement those B team sort of ingredients. And now that Final Fantasy 16 is done, and Yoshi P has now been stepped down, he's no longer the chief executive officer. The next Final Fantasy expansion for 14 is probably going to be way better. But then there's like this whole like criticism that like, oh, every class kind of feels more homogenized. There's no uniqueness anymore. There's problems with some of the mechanics of the game where you basically don't need to rely on healers whatsoever. There's been like these meme dungeons where you bring in like 5 DPS and 4 tanks, and because the tanks can like relatively heal themselves and some of the like mechanics require like, oh, this tank takes this much damage, but we'll rotate this second tank in to take this much damage, and then we'll rotate the third tank to come in to take this much damage, and we'll rotate the fourth tank to take this much damage. And by the time the next mechanic goes off, the stagger or like the negative effects of like the what's called the tank buster moves have already worn out from the first tank. So literally we could just cycle in more damage, more DPS. Nobody needs to fucking heal. If everybody does their role right, they can heal themselves. Like there's this, like I said, this this sort of homogenous sort of like melding of like the classes really don't have like any sort of main identity. And that's basically because the casualization has happened in that game. But I still feel like the classes are still cool and unique enough to where they feel different. But there definitely is a exploitative sort of way to go about that game in like at a hardcore like facet, to where, like you said, like I mentioned, where the game feels kind of like you can exploit a lot of things because the way the certain mechanics of the game are. So hopefully that answers your question about Final Fantasy 14. And like I said, the current expansion kind of sucks because the story just really blows. And there's a lot of people who will like talk about you can beat it alone. Like I said, there are okay, that's not true. That's not true. There are certain points in the game where you have to do what's called like a raid, not a raid, but like it's basically like it's a duty finder, where a normal party is a party of 4. If some story beats require you to go into a dungeon of 4 people, and in order to get to the next what's called main MSQ, main scenario quest, they've implemented the story ability now, or the NPC mechanics, where you can bring in 4 NPCs that can do any role whatsoever. They can do a tank, healing, or DPS. So if you play a healing class, you can have an NPC play a tank for you to hold aggro, and then everybody else is DPS. And so on and so forth, mix and match, whatever. So, but there's what's called a duty finder, which is like the big penultimate final boss of the expansion of the 6.0, 7.0, 5.0. It's like the big crescendo moment of the expansion where you have to do, and that's when the game forces you to bring in 8 or 7 people, including yourself. So it's a duty finder of 8 people, and 8 people have to take on the final boss of that expansion, and their raid mechanics, and you have to do it with other people. There's no NPCs. They have implemented some things where if you wipe, you get what's called like Heidelin's Blessing, which just gives you more buffs. It gives you more, like basically you get more health or more damage reduction, and it stacks. So it's like you get one Heidelin's Blessing. Oh, you wiped. Okay, now you have it at 2 stacks. And so then 3 stacks. But that's only for older content. The current content doesn't give you that. The whole incentive is to like play with experienced players. So people who have beaten that duty finder, if they queue up, and they get rewarded for playing the older content to help newer players. So the whole point is that the duty finder, at some point you have to interact with people. And I think that's like the premise of it, is that there's some, there's Final Fantasy junkies like me who are like, oh, the single, like the story is so amazing and it's so great, and it's probably up there with like the top 5 of the story that's been told. But at some point, because the inherent nature of the game is an MMO, you do have to interact with people. At some point, the human element does come into play. And they, like I said, for many years, they have tried to kind of tailor that, because people are drawn into story more than the MMO experience, because they've been told word of mouth, like, oh, this game is a great story. I want to experience the story like I've experienced other Final Fantasy stories in the past. But I don't want to play with other people. I am a Final Fantasy fan. I have played Magic since the 90s, but I never got into Magic like when I understood what I was doing and played Magic, like as far as like decks and like themes and mechanics until the Lorwyn set. And the only reason why I got into the Lorwyn set is they introduced a fun mechanic that somebody tricked me because I was playing the World of Warcraft trading card game, which has a hero class that you can play. And they're like, oh, yeah, you want to play Magic? Yeah, there's a hero class called a Planeswalker. And I was like, oh, cool. So I get to just start with the Planeswalker? And they're like, no, you still have to draw it and play it, but it acts like your hero in Standard. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had 3 Planeswalker cards. I got one from a promo. I had one that I drew, and then I bought one. And it was Jace. I got the original Jace. I got the promo, like the green Planeswalker giant, or the giant dude. I forget his name. And then I had Chandra. Those are the 3. And I never played Chandra because I never made a red deck. But I've always been like kind of like, okay, Magic's cool, but I'm not really into Magic. I got really into Magic during the Ravnica block, where like my local game store had these like really fun promo events where it was that set where like everybody kind of broke out into their guilds. And I like the first set was like I bought the Rakdos because I love Rakdos, like go Rakdos, woohoo. But really I was a Dimir fanboy. But that was for the next set that they were going to introduce Dimir. So I had to wait until the next set in order to get the Dimir set. But that was like who I really shine for. But Final Fantasy is my jam. Final Fantasy is like what, like I said this in the last live stream, which was on Monday. You can go check it out. But I'm the problem with Magic right now. I'm the problem. See, I'm the problem. See, I am the problem. I am the problem. I'm the problem. You see all these cards I have? These are all like Universes Beyond, no original IP except for Kamigawa, because I come from an anime background, so I love Kamigawa and Neon Dynasty. But really, I'm the problem. I'm here for Universes Beyond. Universes Beyond's my jam. The Fortnitification of Magic is what I'm down for. And the fact that they did this Final Fantasy set and it's like fucking awesome. It's like fucking peak. I'm like fucking hard as a rock. Hopefully that answers your question. So anyways, Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, let's go. We didn't talk about this in the last video, so
so they're just
the last live stream, I should say.
It's wild.
Let's
but this deck
go
is
back.
for free.
Okay.
In our 4th deck, we have
because we talked about 6 and 10 the other day, so we just got done talking about 7. So they're talking about 14 now.
Featuring, I do not know how to pronounce this.
Y'shtola.
Thank you. Y'shtola.
Fucking
This deck was a fun one
fucking pleb.
because when I
Mommy Y'shtola, how
learned I
dare
was
you?
leading the project,
How
I'd never
fucking
played
dare
Final
you.
Fantasy 14 before.
Of course,
So
of course you
naturally,
haven't.
over the next month, I put.
Of course you
200
never
hours
played
into
Final
this,
Fantasy
with my
14.
best friend from work, and it's such a journey. This is such a huge cast, and so you go play it for free. It's free up to a certain level. It's just such a great story. The
Up the
community
Stormblood, you piece of
is
shit.
so loving and welcoming.
Do I have to do another comment?
been so heartwarming.
Do I have to do
really, just by
another
the journey of
comment?
people willing to
I've already
help you
commented
as
on a
you
video
need, 'cause
once
it's an MMO.
for a
so
lore
they're
check.
just there for you.
I
It's-
literally
it's
did that.
wild.
You're actually
But this deck
wrong.
is a non-creature spell matters kind of control deck, and that's what Y'shtola is doing. So if you're casting spells with mana value 3 or greater, you're going to trigger her to deal damage to everybody and gain life to keep yourself alive. And then if you've done enough each turn, you will draw cards to continue your onslaught of spells.
Your spells.
Note, good to put lifelink on. She does do damage. She is mirroring the black.
But she
mages
gains
in the main
life.
set.
Okay, let's learn a little bit more about this deck. We've got 2 characters here to talk through. Again, with names I'm not going to try to pronounce. Go for
Alice
it.
This is Alice and
Alphino.
Alphino. I will not try to say the last name. I will
They're partners.
definitely mispronounce
Of
it.
course they are.
Leviur? Okay.
Sure.
These are the twins in the game. Very
Actually,
vital
yeah, I did. I
scions,
did the
in
near,
party.
and actually,
Someone on my
I did
team,
do that.
Zach Franks.
I did.
pitched
You
the
did
have
see
to
that
have
in real
partner.
time if you look
So
at the
from that
video.
moment on, every design I
It was
tried, I'm
during
like,
the Final
they
Fantasy
really do
VI
need to have
Commander.
partner with. So you can play
So
one
go
and
check
find
that
the other,
out.
or
If
if
you
they're
just hit that
commander,
rewind.
you have both of them. And
I won't
they are
dare to
twins,
repeat
so I kind of played up the second spell matters, which is you can
Dual
find
cast.
in blue-white a lot of times. So
Costs 2 less, first
I'll
strike.
say your second spell costs 2 less, and Alpha No, you will draw a card when you cast your second spell.
Nice. That's actually a good pairing. Good pair.
Speaking
Good
of
pair.
spells, let's look at a couple of the spells in this deck. We've got Transpose and Dancer's Chakrams.
All right, these are
Job select.
when I played through, I played as White
Black
Mage,
Mage. Oh.
Black Mage, Dancer, and a little bit of Ninja. Gavin, as you may have seen, had the White Mage cane, White Mage rod, staff, and the Black Mage's rod covered. So I was like, I want Dancer's Chakram, and I may have requested that the character shown was a blue-haired Mikote. Probably mispronounced that.
Probably
but
his character, I
definitely played
bet.
my most of Dancer's Chakrams, and
Nice.
it mentions that lifelink in there.
The
so,
power,
You
man,
definitely
the
want to get
power.
this out on your commander. And then Transpose is me representing the Black Mage that I played. It actually creates a Black Mage token, but it's got that rebound, so I really wanted to capture using your cooldown. So Transpose is an ability of the Black Mage. You cast it, it goes on rebound, and after a turn cycle, it's off its cooldown, so it comes back and you get to cast it again.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. And then our
Transpose
final
is so
cards to
good.
talk about, Champions from Beyond and Tome of Legends.
We didn't show Sphere
Probably the
earlier, but it's also
best
in the 10 deck,
moment-
but I really wanted to capture
So that's what I'm taking. Like with Champions from Beyond, that's where you have to do the Duty Finder, and that's like the big pivotal moment. When this enchantment enters, create X11 colorless hero tokens. Light Party, whenever you attack with 4 or more creatures, scry 2 to draw a card. Full Party. So Light Party is you don't have a full party of, or it's a 4, but a full party is 8. So I like how they do that's like a cool sequence. Is like Light Party, you can do a dungeon, and now you could do Full Party, which is 8, which is like whenever you attack with 8 or more creatures, most creatures get +4/+4 deal a turn. That's freaking hot. I love that. It does the dungeon Duty Finder and the final the final Duty Finder boss fight. This Tome of Legends could go fuck itself.
some kind of meta moments, especially during
It's
my playthrough.
horror, is
so
what it
Champions from
is.
the Beyond, representing that Duty Finder. If you've played 14, where you're waiting to form either your Light Party, which is 4 members, or Full Party, which is 8, so you get the bonuses based on that. But
Nice.
you can put as much mana into X as you want to make those parties right away if you're later in the game. Or you can play it on 2 and just hope your party forms for your journey. And then Tome of Legends is that Wondrous Tales where you have weekly
Wondrous
missions
Tales.
to go on. And as soon as I got to that part of the game, I was like, oh, I have to capture this. And I'm just a fan of Tome of Legends in general.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's
fuck that
that's a
Tomb
pretty
of
fun
Legends.
card.
Fuck that Wondrous
All
Tales
right.
bullshit.
You'll enjoy this deck.
That
if-
side game nonsense.
You'll enjoy this deck if you like managing your cooldowns. Just really controlling the board and a non-creature matters theme. Like you have the job selects to create creatures for you, but a lot of times you're casting spells that don't immediately put a creature on the board. You're just controlling the board. You're accruing value and doing damage over time. You're really draining the table instead of hitting with like big characters like you would in Final Fantasy 7 or probably 10.
All right. Okay, so those are the 4 decks. Again, you can see the full deck lists, cards, all of that information on dailymtg.com. Once we work out some kinks in the background, we'll have
kinks.
videos for each of the 4 decks going up on YouTube. But definitely check those out. That's all we have for today.
Okay,
It's
next week,
definitely not all
boys.
we have for Final Fantasy previews.
Next week,
this
we'll
is a
be back
huge
here.
set. Fans are incredibly excited
Hopefully
for it.
I'll-
And so
I'll
we're
live
doing
react
a ton of previews. This is the first of 3
As it's
weekly
doing
MTG
live.
shows where we will have previews. Next week, we will be back with Zakil Gordon and Dylan Devaney to talk more Final Fantasy previews. So stay tuned. Check out that Where to Find article if you want to see where more previews are coming and on what days. There's so much cool stuff yet to come. I know these two are still fighting back, holding their tongues on a lot of things, but we're going to get the opportunity to talk about a lot of it over the next 3 weeks. So Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Share your magic. Thank you for watching. Okay, so let us. I cannot wait for the Tolarian College episode of Magic or Final Fantasy. It's either going to be super salty or super cool or a bit of both. All right, so this is okay. That's where to play. So this is the commander list. I already went over on the last live stream / video if you're watching later on YouTube. We went over Terra's deck and we went over Titus's deck. They talked about Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 14. So I don't think we need to go through each of the cards that much. I do kind of want to see some Final Fantasy 7 stuff to see how much they put in. I think we went over briefly. I like that they have Sid, but there's also like the multiple Sids, like Sid in every universe type Sid. So this is like the only thing I'm like super disappointed in as far as these commander decks is that I want every card to feel crazy cool. Right? Like Sid is just a mono white. One white. I think he's a little more than that. And like, especially, oh my god, Vincent Valentine, he should be red black or green red black. He should be more. But I get what they're doing. They're trying to put as much into this set to make it feel as authentic to the game experience. So it is what it is. Like they got Hojo, Barrett. Look, the Proud Warrior. He's a red green, at least. I don't know. They've even got Sephiroth Fallen Hero. But then we get to like Pure Steel Paladin, Bronze Guardian, Zack Fair, which is sad. They have two Barrett. They have this Barrett. They have Barrett Wall, the normal Barrett, and then they have where's the other Barrett? The Avalanche Leader. Like what the hell? They have two Barretts. Crazy. Instances, Cloud's Limit Break. I feel that's kind of cool. The Holy Clever Concealment. Chaos Warp. I can't believe they put Chaos Warp for Vincent's ability. Dispatch, that's pretty cool. The Military Program. Furious Rise, that's kind of cool. Sorceries, like, yeah, these are all pretty fucking cool. Let me just take a look at the equipment. Some Materia, that's unique. That's a new equipment. Wrecking Ball Harm, Champion's Helm, Conqueror's Flail. I can't believe they did that to Rouge. Or to Rude. Dark Steel Plate, that's weird. Inspiring Sanctuary, Blade Amethyst, Behemoth Slugger, obviously Arcane Signet, Colossal Hammer. That's funny. That actually is kind of funny. Explorer Scope, Heroes Bad, a Blade, Heroes Heirloom, Lightning Greaves. Like, yeah, see, like these are, oh my god, that is the Skull Clamp. Fucking Genova's head. That's crazy. Mother's named Genova. The Genova Project. It's just a coincidence. That's fucking crazy. Trailblazer boots. That's Vincent. Soul Ring is a yellow materia. Kind of nuts. But yeah. We don't need to go over your Stola stuff. But what I want to go through now is where's the promo? Yeah, that's the secret list. So this is the promo stuff that they're talking about. So pre-release events. I got to sign up for my pre-release event tomorrow. So you get 6 play boosters, 1 traditional stamp foil, deck box, spine down. 1 in 20 pre-release will contain a special acrylic spine down dice. Kind of messed up. You can build a 40 card sealed deck out of the contents of pre-release, face off against a few Magic players. Contact your local games are. Learn to play Magic Academy. Do you know that Final Fantasy fans need to learn how to play? And then I guess you get this one, Dragon Hordes. It's a Magic Academy promo. When a dragon you control enters, put a gold counter on the artifact. Remove a gold counter. Draw a card. Add 1 any mana. The special bonus attendees who play Magic Academy events will receive a retro frame foil Dragonhead promo. Intro promos include starter kit and Magic Gathering Founders, beginner boxes, starter collections. Okay. Standard Showdown events, June 13th through June 24th. I just found out we finally have a Standard Showdown event. I want Ultima. I don't really care for Squall, but I want Ultima. Ultima would be fucking cool. Getting Squall, also cool, but mostly I want Ultima. Magic presents. Oh, this is the Chocobo Racing. Race down to your local game store for Chocobo Race. Theme around the iconic Chocobo Racing. These events allow you to earn special prizes while participating in Magic Gathering limited play. So this is limited? How does this work? Head over to these events to earn points by playing and bringing along friends. These points will help you earn special prizes like Chocobo Pin while available. Okay, so that I gotta. I guess that I saw one in our locals that they are doing the Chocobo event. So let me just double check if I am right about that. Locator, store and events, current location. So I think it was autos, right? Pre-release, Pioneer, Pride. Oh yeah, right there, June 28th. Is that when it starts? Wait. Friday Night Magic, Friday Night Auto. It's Steel Deck. Final Fantasy, Chocobo Racing, Autos, Chocobo Racing. The only one I see, really. Let me try Paladin. Are they doing Chocobo? No, they are not doing Chocobo. No Chocobo there. Are they doing Chocobo? Commander, EDH. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna have to look out for that one. All right. Celebrate Final Fantasy at MagicCon. Join us for Final Fantasy. Join us in Las Vegas, Nevada, the gathering to greatness. Everything you love about Magic. You're looking for our favorite Magic artists. This is what I want. I want this. You won't be alone. Attendees will receive a promo of Yorimitsu, ever faithful as Torgal, Clive's companion. I'm going to build my Final Fantasy 14 deck around this partner and the new Joshua card that was just announced, which will probably take a look here in a sec. Tifa Lockhart. I'm a little disappointed that it's not the purple outfit. It's the exotic outfit. You got to do the promo, Pro Tour qualifier promo. Looking to a quality for high-level Magic events, we're hosting multiple Pro Tour qualifier events over the course of the weekend. Each features Magic Gathering Limited. Players who participate in these events. Okay, so if you participate, you just get the card. Top finishers will receive a full copy. Everyone else will see a non-full copy. An additional top 4 players will receive invitations to Edge of Eternity at MagicCon Atlanta. So I guess if I go to, I might as well just participate in order to get the Tifa card. If I'm going to MagicCon, I might as well just do that. Pro Tour Magic the Gathering. MagicCon will also host a Pro Tour, an epic showdown with some Magic's best broadcasters, featuring Final Fantasy Draft Collector Standard Construction Pro Tour Gathering. Be a live action coverage broadcasting twitch.tv/magic. For such epic event, we're offering an epic prize port. We'll share a 500,000 pool with invitations to the upcoming Pro Tours and World Championship. Additionally, each Pro Tour participant will receive a non-foil boardless English Cloud Midgard. Okay, the top 32 will receive a trizz. In additional to the season's current liberated promo cards, so make those special cards binders. Okay, so I guess if you just participate in the Pro Tour, Final Fantasy Pro Tour. So this is a qualifier, and this is the Pro Tour. I guess I could do both. Might as well just do both. Final Fantasy Chiba Japan is heading to Chiba Japan for a 3-day event celebrating Final Fantasy 14. Magic Spotlight events allows you to capture high-level prizes. Each event will theme around something exciting. The main event will include a standard construct where players will face off with magic and release. Let's see. Participants would receive a non-foil Japanese language Cloud Midgar. Additionally, the top 128 players will be compensated to share a 50,000 prize pool. Top 8 will receive an invitation. The winner will receive a stunning trophy featuring a Planeswalker symbol emblazoned on the crystal of the Final Fantasy franchise. God damn. If casual play is more your speed, put a Command Zone badge, purchase a Command Zone badge and join us for Commander participants. They'll get the Japanese one. Command Fest during Magic Gathering Final Fantasy, though, you have to go to these Command Fests, and one in Sydney, Tokyo, Beijing. Wow, that's it? Wait, hold on. Okay. Purchasing a badge and attending one of these events, you'll receive a non-foil of Joshua Rossfield. Additionally, different badges may offer special Magic and Final Fantasy merchandise, so check with the organizers for details. Okay. So this one is probably going to be the hardest one to get because you have to go to these Commander Fests. I don't know, JK Entertainment. What is JK Entertainment? I don't even know what. Germany. In Germany. So there's only one Command Fest in America, and that's in Warshurst, Massachusetts. Is that what I'm getting at? Yeah. Oh, and it's like a coffee shop. What the fuck? Bruh. Come on. Really? Spotlight Series Command Fest promo. Okay. Well, that's going to really suck when I try to make my Final Fantasy 15 deck. I'm near there. What the fuck? Okay, cool. So you got my info. You're going to go to it. You're going to get me that card, right? You're going to, how do I get that? It's through July 11th to the 13th at TJ Cafe and Games. Command Fest. Cool. So you're gonna send me one, right? You're gonna get like 3 of them. You're gonna send me one. Just DM me. Email down below. You got me, right? It's kind of fortuitous. Like the fact that I have someone in my chat that actually lives near there. Like, bro, I want to make my Final Fantasy 15 deck. I'm going. Okay. So I will see. You need to win. It says, I know it does. It says, purchasing a badge and attending one of these events, you will receive a non-foil or traditional foil Rogarth, son of Rogar, as Joshua Rossfield promo card. So you just receive it. I'll buy a bunch. Cool. And you'll send me one. I'll remember. Or please remember me, because I really want that card. All right, we're continuing our Commander content with Commander parties, which, like I said, the gaming store I was talking about, they have Commander parties, and I get Cloning Ritual or D-Spark, so that's gonna be cool. I definitely want D-Spark because that's such a sad moment in the game. Add on Discord. My Discord's down below. It's let me see. Can I just? They're just a copy. It's at Continue Para. How do I copy? I don't know how to copy. Follow my Discord. This is my Discord. Let's see. I get a link, copy link. That is the Out of Order Show Discord. I'll post it in both Twitch and YouTube. I'm dying. Yeah. Anyways. So I'm definitely gonna get these 2. 2 weeks, these Commander Party events. By participating in these events, you'll receive a D-Spark and Cloning Ritual promo. WPN premium stores will receive a traditional full copies of these promos. Other stores will receive a non-full. So I got to find out tomorrow if the store that is doing Commander, if they're a WPN premium store or if they're just a normal store, or if we even have a WPN premium store in town, which I doubt it. I'd have to drive to LA or something, or somewhere near LA. Magic the Gathering store championships, which I saw. There are store championships. Rise to the top of your gaming community, a local store champion. These events will encourage competitive, cutting-edge gameplay and deck building. As standard construct. I am so glad I'm buying the starter kit because I'm not going to construct a standard deck. I'm just going to use the pre-made. I'm either going to use my Assassin's Creed standard deck. Okay, check Discord. All right. Wave hi. Hello. Hello. I wave hi to you. Welcome to the Analgam. What is lost has now been found. Welcome to the community, my friend. You know what? We should play some music. Let's play some music while we're just talking heads right now. Good. This is a good song. Good song. All right. So championship stores. I don't care if I win or lose. Do I have to win? Oh yeah, they said the first place. So first place gets City of Brass, and then I think everybody else gets a. Participants will receive a non-full copy of Prophetic. Top 8 will receive. So by just participating, you get Prophetic Dreams, which is cool. If you make top 8, you get Diablos. But by being number 1, you get the Brass City, Floating City, blah 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 blah, and Final Fantasy 12, which I don't care. This hurts, man. This actually fucking hurts. Qualifiers for tour for fall regional championships. I don't really care for Aerith, but the fact that it is the chair Aerith, it's sad. It's just so sad. It's probably gonna sell for hundreds of dollars. Though even if I don't go to a regional championship qualifier promo, I would just want it because that's such a memeable, celebrated moment in Final Fantasy Remake. The chair is such a great moment, and I just hate the fact that this is like a promo. But we'll see. Participants will receive a stunning non-foil Aerith card. Top will receive a traditional foil. Top finishers vary by market, so contact your regional organ. Yeah, so. And then play the victory music. Dun, 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 dun. We can't wait for you to start playing the exciting cards in Magic Gathering Final Fantasy. Previews are already underway, so check out the And then there's also like I said, there's like a list of. They have a list of influencers and is this it? Yeah, worlds to explore. Is this like the list of influencers? No, they don't. But they do have podcasts. Okay. Where is news? 4 things you need to know. Mechanics. Image gallery. Is that what it is? Oh, that's just the cards. Which is it? Then it has to be 4 things you need to know. Is that it? I'm dying. Throughout the ages. Okay, those are the codes. Promos. Oh yeah, so these are important dates. So global tabletop release. Pre-release. Preview cards. Full images May 30th. So the end of this month, we will get the full shebang-a-bang. All right. Is there dates? Oh, there's our lands. These are throughout the ages. Nomura cards. Woodblock. So that's a new card style that they said they were talking about. Boardless cards. Adventure lands. which are towns. All 15 iterations of Sid, which is kind of cool. Date cards. They've already talked about the Rendezvous. Extended art cards. Product detail. Oh, so this is the breakdown. Okay, so. So you get, for a play booster, you get 30 play boosters. So you get 14 commons, or 14 magic cards. 6 to 7 commons, 3 uncommons, 1 wild card rarity, 1 non-foil rare or mythic card, 1 traditional foil, 1 land, 1 non-token. Collector boosters, you get 12. You get 12 cards. $800 for 12 collector boosters. This is insane. 3 traditional foils, 3 traditional uncommons, 1 non-foil booster fun. I hate the word they say, booster fun. And then 1 traditional foil or surge foil booster fun, common or uncommon. God, 1 traditional default frame, 3 booster rare or mythics. Like, it's just insane. You get 1 throughout the ages card. I like that they are guarantee 1 throughout the ages card. So I'm gonna get at least 12 throughout the ages card. That's cool. 1 traditional foil, surge foil, or 1 colorful rare or mythic chocobo, and then 1 double-sided token. Collector boosters. You get 1 Search Foil Commander facing Commander card, 1 Search Foil featured Commander card, 98 Search Foil, double-sided tokens, Collector Sample Pack, 1 reference card, 1 deck card. Bundle. The normal bundle, you get 9 play boosters, 2 traditional foil extended art cards, all from the 161 extended art legendary cards, full art basic lands, 1 spin down counter. The gift bundle, which I got, you get 9 play boosters, 1 collector booster. Wow, 1 collector booster, 2 traditional foil extended art cards from the 100. Oh man, you only get 2, and then you get 32 full art basic lands, 1 spin down, and then 1 card storage. And then the starter kit, pre-release. Where's plethora of choices? Where's the? Nope, that's not it. News. Latest news. Let's go. Load more. That's the secret layers. Where's like the list of all the? They had like a list of all the mastery detail. No. Where to play, commander deck list. I swear I saw it. They were like, oh, this is like the list of mechanics. Oh, where to find Magic previews. So these are like all the previews. So we are on what, May 15th? So today, or yesterday we got, okay, so Matt Mercer did his MGR online. What did MGR do? Oh, it's in Thai? Oh, God. Oh, wow. This is all in Gamer Sky. Okay, that's in Japanese. Maybe these are all the same 1 card. Let me double check. Is this all the same? No, so their preview is Jack the Reluctant Guardian. Okay, so that's crazy. So he's a legend. He's a flip. Vraska's final Aeon. Whenever Jack deals combat damage to a player, you may exile it, then return it to the the battlefield transform under its owner. Each opponent discards a card, and you may draw a card. Jack's ultimate Jack shot. Each opponent sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice. Wow. And then, oh god, go away. Okay. That's pretty art. Oh, that's cool. The final Aeon. Okay. So today we're going to get Amazonian, Dirty Mirror, Jake Sanders or Jack Sanders. Radio #1 charts. Okay, so he's like he's an influencer for MTV, I guess. The Gamer. Okay. So this is a website. The Gamer. Let's see. Socials, Travis. Star City Games. Comic book Command Zone. Command Zone's doing one? That's cool. CNET, Kind of Funny Games. Really, they're doing a promo. Valerian Community College. God, that's gonna be a hoot. Game Informer, AlphaCast, Crunchyroll. Let's see. Crybabies. Goldfish, MMORPG.com, Nerdist. Wait, is this who I think it is? Oh, no, it's not who I think it is. Get up! Okay, I thought it was somebody else. I was like, oh, that's a... Ooh, Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb's doing coverage? Go them. I'm glad that they're in a position where they can do independent journalism. Weekly MTG. Let's see. Black News. It's so crazy that this outlet still exists. And then the full image gallery on the 30th. And then throughout the ages, the debut. This is all the stuff. I guess this is all the stuff that's already happened. Yeah. Cool. All right. So finally, it's getting pretty late. The long stream. We've been doing this for 2.5 hours. So this today is also kind of special too because they dropped the secret layer today as well. We have till June 7th, right? Or June 9th. June 9th is going to be part of the summer super drop at 9 a.m. So get your credit cards ready, boys and gals, and all those in between and beyond. Let's see. When we first revealed Magic Gathering Final Fantasy, we announced that Secret Lair team would be releasing a series of drops to coincide with the set. The time has come to reveal these to the world. Secret Lair will be releasing 3 Final Fantasy themed drops, each with stunning artwork depicting characters, spells, and weapons across the Final Fantasy franchise. Each of these drops will be available in non-foil and rainbow foil in limited quantities. Additionally, these drops will be printed in English and Japanese. These drops will go on sale as part of our Super Summer Drop of June 9th. In addition to these drops, fans will receive a Rainbow Foil Gilded Lotus promo card with the purchase of select bundles while they last. These bundles will be detailed below. Terms and conditions may apply. So we have the Game Over series. So Spear's Punishment, Day of Judgment, destroy all creatures. That's kind of cool. Absorbed into Time. Like I mentioned before, Final Fantasy VIII is a mistake. It's all big time paradox. Temporal Extortion. When you cast this spell, any player may pay half their life, round up. If a player doesn't, counter absorbed into time. Take an extra turn after this one. Toxic Deluge, Merciless Poison. Great Final Fantasy VI reference, where he poisons the river. As additional cost to cast a spell, pay X life. All creatures get negative X negatives until end of turn. Unseat the Usurper, Predatory's Grasp. I think I have this. I have a version of this card already. Search target opponent's library for a card and exile it face down. Then that player shuffles. You may play this card as long as it remains exiled. The throne brings you here. The seat only one. It seats only one. Meteor Fall, Star of Extinction. That's so fitting for Sephiroth. Destroy target land. Meteor Fall does 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. What would happen if there was an injury that threatened the very life of the planet? $40 for Rainbow Foil. Secret Lair, Final Fantasy Grimoire. Yuna's Holy Magic. Prismatic End. Coverage. Exile target non-land permanent if its mana's value is less than or equal to the number of color of mana spent to cast a spell. Hope's Arrow Magic. Cyclonic Rift. We all know what Cyclonic Rift is, boys. Noctis Death Magic. Damned. Destroy target creature. A creature destroyed this way cannot be regenerated. Overload. Oh, it has an overload cost? Hell yeah, brother. So the power of the Ring of Lucius is Doom. Or is it Death or Doom? I forget. Oh, I think it's Death or Doom. Damn, I can't remember. It's been so long. Vivi's Lightning Magic. Lightning Bolt. Vivi deals 3 damage to any target. They had to change that to any target. And then Eris Kira Magic in Heroic Invention. Permanents you control gain hexproof indestructible in turn. That's so cool. Final Fantasy's weapons. We got the Staff of the Storyteller, which is actually kind of perfect for Yuna's deck because when this artifact enters, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Because she creates spirits. Whenever you create one or more creature tokens, put a story counter on this artifact. Pay 1 white, remove a story counter from the artifact, draw a card. That's actually really good. Synergizes really well. Clive's Invictus Blade. Blade of the Self. Equip. Oh my god, it's just the Myriad Blade. Equipped creature has Myriad. Cloud's Buster Sword. I don't know what that is. Yawa's Jit. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Cloud's Buster. Remove a charge counter for Cloud's Buster, choose 1. Equipped creature gets +1 or +2/+2 until in turn. Target creature responds -1/1. You gain 2 life. Okay, that's kind of cool. Kind of weak, but kind of cool. Gaia's Dark Hammer. Gaia, I can't believe that's such a deep cut. It's just a Colossal Hammer. 10/10 and loses flying. Equip 8. Power of Darkness, answer my call. Thetis's Brotherhood Sword. Sword of Truth and Justice. +2/+2, and you get white and blue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage, play a +1/+1, and then proliferate, which works amazingly with Tifa's or with Titus's. That's like goes hand in hand. That's such a great synergy. And then the bundles, the Final Fantasy. Okay, so I don't need to get that. I'm gonna get the super. Oh my god, it's. Wait, super bundle? 1 non-foil, rainbow foil, rainbow. Super contents. English language bundle. Okay, I'm just confused. So each drop and promo card in Japanese. Oh, that's the boat. Okay, so this is really. So I get. So the only way you can get the. So you have to get the rainbow and non-foil secret lair in order to get the Gilded Lotus for English, and it's 200 bones. Yikes. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And then the super drop, you get both. These drops will go on sale as part of the Supercell drop June 10th, exclusively on Magic Secret Lairs. These drops will be available in limited quantities. Sign up because it's no longer a print on demand. Go fuck us, right? Okay. Is there anything else Final Fantasy? I guess we could kind of take a look at the cards that are available, right? Or we could take a look at the list. See anything that has kind of see more cards. Anything that has been added. That's in the starter kit. Oh, cool. Okay, a Krill, Dragoon Lance, and is a knight and is additional. Phoenix down. That's pretty cool. I love. That's actually kind of cool. 1 colorless, 1 white. Exile this artifact. Choose 1 return target creature with mana less or 4 to the graveyard to the battlefield tap. Or you can exile skeleton, spirit, or zombie because it's bringing them back to life. That's kind of cool. White Auracite. Oh my god, I didn't know that was. Oh, that's probably in the booster collectors, play boosters. Oh, it's pre-release. Oh, it's in the commander decks. Yeah, that's so funny. Oh, it's in all these. White Auracite. This artifact enters exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until the artifact leaves battlefield. That's pretty cool, actually. White Mage Step, Moogle's Valor. Okay. Aerith, we saw these. Beatrix, White Auracite, Soldier, Orin, we saw that yesterday. Night Chocobo, or on Monday, I should say. Coin of Fate. Mirror, actually. Protection magic. Put a shield counter. Oh, that's a shield counter. Summon King Moogle. Good King Moogle Mog. The 12th. Soldier Program. Yojimbo. Taru. Scion Secretary. Thancred. Let's see. Okay. Oh, these fucking wooden, what they're called? The wooden, no. Astir Command. Oh my god. Astir Command. Oh my god. Destroy. Choose 2. Oh my god. Aeromancer's Map. Bastion. We know that. Cleansing Nova. Choose 1. Destroy creatures or destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Fuck. Destroy evil. Put a deal. Final Judgment. Oh, that's in the... Okay. That's in the Aerith deck. Or not Aerith deck. In the Y'shtola deck. I love this placement Yeller because it gives a Monarch. These are all really cool. This is only in the white section. Okay. My throat is going to kill me. Oh, so this is new. Oh, yeah, that's new. Actually, is there a way to show just new? Actually, yeah, let's go just new. Okay, so... Retrieve the Esper. Okay. Sahawagan. So cool. Oh, yeah, this one was cool because this is it's Urza the High Artificer, but it's Tara Branford. Oh my god. You be in a pre-release and in a bundle and a gift bundle and a store, arena store. Oh, in this arena store pack. Endwalker. What? Brainstorm. Wow. Wowie. Wow. Draw 3 cards and then put 2 cards from your hand. Oh my god. That is so fucking cool. Endwalker. Let's see. Albed Scavengers. Evil Reawakened. The Traitor. Sephiroth's Intervention. Destroy target creature. Gain 2 life. Gen Reinforcements. Deadly Embrace. Okay, Emperor. Hell Tyrant. Oh yeah, it's because Yawgmoth. Crazy. Protection from humans. Let's see. We got Item Shop. Samurai's Katana. Nice. Oh, Snap-a-Doodle. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Analgam. I believe that was a follow on YouTube. Thank you for the subscription. Yep. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it, man. Oh yeah, so Masamune, you become a samurai. Warrior, become a warrior. Crescent. Oh yeah, Judgment Bolt. Lightning. They talking about that? Okay, so they finally put him in. So he's not just a, what's it called? A, Beyond, the Aegis card. Or throughout the Aegis cards, I should say. That's cool. Chocobo, Seeker of Paradise. Wow, he's a 3-color? Wow, he could totally be a commander. That could be an alternate commander. That's definitely going to be alt commander. For all the birds, that's definitely going to be the bird commander card right there. Because it's 3 colors and a lot of the birds are different colors. For Sherzies. Oblivion, they talked about Oblivion already. They talked about the size, we saw that. Royal City. Rabenashra. The Royal City. Okay. Uncommon. And that's it. That's all the new cards. Cool. What's collector's info? Oh, okay, that's just like the treatment. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What a what's showcase? Oh, those are only 2 showcases card. I'm blown away by this set, guys. I'm just over the fucking moon, and it's insane. This card set is like that's why, like, between me and my friend Josh, we are spending like over $6,000 on this set. And hopefully Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, whatever, the creator program, hopefully they get back to me in time before the release, because I want to get back to my community as well. Some promo codes, maybe a Commander 2 box set that I gave away. Because I want this to be a blowout of like everything Final Fantasy that I love. So yeah, this is a very intense set. You guys have been killing it with the viewership, coming out, hanging out with us on either the YouTubes or over on Twitch. I stream both on Twitch and YouTube.
And then we also...
oh, that was loud. So thank you guys. Really, I do appreciate it. If you were watching later on YouTube, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to do all the engagement crap that they tell you to do on YouTube. The like, subscribe, leave a comment. What's your favorite Final Fantasy weapon? Mine is probably the chainsaw from Final Fantasy VI with Edgar. Probably my favorite weapon of all the Final Fantasies because it's hilarious and it's a cool Easter egg. And you have to in order to like know the deep lore of it, it's kind of cool. Yeah. That's been the stream. I appreciate everybody coming out. Love y'all. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscriptions. I will most likely be on tomorrow. We're going to be doing the basement. We're doing a final hurrah. We're going to be playing some Mario Party. It's going to be our final office stream because I'm moving to a new office. And the basement that I usually play our fighting games out of every week is currently getting worked on by the plumbers. So I can't necessarily do that right now. So If you want to check out some fighting game action, or you want to hang out with us as we celebrate the final meeting of heads for a while until we get our new spot, and play some Mario Party, then come out tomorrow. Chill with us. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Follow my social medias down the doobly-doo down below. Join the Discord where we talk about Final Fantasy and fighting game stuff and Magic stuff. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much. Take care. And like always, be good to one another. And peace. Forever.